Brad Boston, Cam Waters, almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble with a simple name holder now. Sam Noble. Dodds just absolute. These competitors here, really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to our SimRigs Tuesday night V8 Supercar Amateur Series, coming to you live from Sandown Raceway. Proud sponsored this week, or this round, is proudly sponsored by Warren and Brown Tools. As we flick over and catch the last of the practice here, we see some nice times out there by the boys, so they're really getting comfortable with this circuit. So as we delve into tonight's round, we will have our standard qualifying, and then our top 10 shootout will also come through a little later on. But hopefully we can put on some good viewing for you guys tonight. My name is Rob St. Hayter. I will be joined by Mr. Peter Baxter in not too distant future. We will get this underway. So as we sort of have a look down the order there, Tim Nicol out of the Pecky's livery has put himself at the top of the tree, the 107.38. Joe Mahoney I don't think's in the server right now. It's Brock Monishead as we jump on screen with him there, 107.46. Andrew Cowan, we saw him take a podium last week at Oran Park, currently sitting in P4 with a 107.48. Peter Pavlovich sitting back there in P5 with 107.74, and Rob Visser in 108.12. Brett Taylor must be sitting in the pit lane. There he is. He's got a 108.28. Daniel Schultz driving at the SRW number 64 there, 108.62. Ray Oliver just popping out of the pit lane there at the moment with Frog Leap Juiced, 108.71. And the other SRW car out there, Mr. Bradley Wall, currently sitting P3 in our championship. Hasn't set a time yet, so we'll keep our eyes on Mr. Bradley Wall. We'll see what he can do with the next 10 seconds. I think we're going to tick over to quali before he actually gets a lap done. So his first laps will probably be in the quali session. So looks like it's going to be a fun night out here with the boys. Sandown's always a popular little circuit. Some hot spots to look for is down here at turns 3 and 4. So we see Brock just going in through 4. And then obviously the turns 8, 9 and 10 up the other end of this circuit, which you can see on screen now, is pretty much 2 straights connected by a couple of S-bends. So this is going to be quite interesting. We'll jump on to our pit lane there. We'll see the boys just roll out for quali. We'll watch some who's at the front of the queue there? It's Bradley Wall, no? They're all queued up there at well, actually Tim's gone out on circuit, so I'm not sure what's gone on there. I think some of the boys are patiently waiting there. We see the 22 there of Bradley Wall just sitting at the queue. Waiting on the OK from race control to get out on the circuit for their quali. Waiting on confirmation. So they're just getting confirmation from race control where they can go out and set a quali lap. So we'll take a bit of a look at the circuit there in the top of your screen, the big black line. You see the front straight where the boys are all piled up there at pit lane, just see that little red line. they're just rolling out now, so you'll see them take to the track. So turn one's a left-hand corner. Probably third gear. I think these guys will be taking about third gear. Then they'll go down into turns 2 and 3. You might see if we can jump on board with Bradley Wall here on the nose cam. So we'll watch him as he comes down. This is turns 2 and 3 that he's going through now. He's through there into 4. You can see him up on the track map there. Through 4. Now he goes up the back chute. He'll be pulling gears, trying to get a nice run. Gets a really wide exit through that little kink, which is good. Now he'll re-line up for the right-hand side. There's a little bump just up here. Just there. He needs to turn in, needs to fire across this curve here, and then straight line into the apex. Bang through there. Beautiful corner. Oh, a little loose. Cold tyres, so they'll get a little bit loose there. He comes down to Dandenong Road here, so he'll go right, left. On the second left here, this one, he'll get right out, run it right up on the line, yep, and then cut down for their entry on the front straight. Very short, very sharp, very technical lap. So if you guys haven't raced Sandown before, what we'll do is we'll jump on board and we'll see what Bradley Wall is doing during the quali. So we see here, what did I say, third gear into turn 1? Yep, third gear, just catch a little curb. Use the outside curb as a berm to try and get the car pitched back inside. Clip both of these curbs if you can. Run up on that curb. Back in the second gear for turn 4 there. And he'll power up. You'll get all 6 gears in action here. So we're watching the dashboard there on the right hand side of your screen. 6th gear, he'll get up. Maybe back in the 5th gear for this. Yep, back in the 5th, not quite flat out through here. Then he clips this one. Yep, and down there. Back to 2nd, maybe 1st. Use the 2nd gear, keep the wheels from spinning too much. Through the kink here, now he'll brake at 50 metre a bit before. Yep, 2nd gear down, and then try and get onto this front straight. And he will come through and set one of our first laps, aside from Tim Nichols, who did set a lap there, 107.9. So we'll see if Bradley can jump above that. 108.72. No. Yes, correct. 108.72 for Bradley on that lap. Brock Modishead has just gone through the 107.18. So Brock's jumped up straight to the top of the leaderboard. Watching Ray Oliver now in the Frog Leap Juice car. He's got a little bit of a draft there. It looks like on the back of, I want to say that's Rob Visser. We'll see what he can do now. Ray Oliver puts in, doesn't count, had an off track in there, so that doesn't count. So his lap is null and void. Rob Visser is a 110.22. Now Peter Pavlovich now 108.49. So good lap there from the KFC Mobile. Brett Taylor's put in a good one too, 108.42. The boys are very close. So Tim Nichols on a purple sector. We'll ride with him on the nose as we come down through this final area. See what he can do. It's a nice exit. Up through the gears, into the braking zone, down. Bit of curb, catch this curb here, just clip it. Beautiful, run it out. It's a nice line. What can he do? Can he improve? Can he improve on the time? Goes to P2. Doesn't improve the time. Oh no, he did improve his time, but not good enough. Brett Taylor now jumps up to P3 in the Valve Motorsport livery car. Peter Pavlovich is on a purple as well. Andrew Cowan is just sneaking around there behind the back here. He's just been a little cheeky. Probably getting a bit of shotgun there. What can Peter Pavlovich do? He jumps himself up in a P3. That's a nice lap there by Peter. And instantly gets knocked down by Andrew Cowan by 1/100th of a second. Andrew Cowan there just as I'll take that, Pete. Thank you very much. Stephen Sinkovich there on the screen in the white 067, doing what Stephen does best. Cutting the grass, making sure it's all trimmed up. Thank you, Steve. So he's currently in P9. Got a couple of guys to come out of the pit. Maybe put in a lap, but they might leave it until a little bit later. So as we just bounce around, we'll get on board with Cowie and see what he's doing. We'll jump in with him and see what he does here. He's 5th gear as well. How much of the curb does he take here on the right? Oh, a lot of curb. Turns early at the apex, trying to keep the momentum up. It's just pushed him out too wide, so he'll abort that lap. So we're right on board now with Brett Taylor as he comes through the same final complex. He's just up on the back straight, so as he gets the gears plucked up this back straight now, we'll see what he can, see if he can manage. What's he chucking through? Does he get back to 5th gear? Yeah, back into 5th gear. Beautiful. 4th gear, actually. He uses 4th gear there to grab a little bit extra curve. Okay, so he's a 4th gear through the turn 6 area, so that's interesting. So we'll have to see if that benefits him in getting a better drive out. Ray Oliver's on green and an orange sector. He's done better in the first sector, but hasn't quite managed to keep the lap together. So I'm wondering if there's an off track there. Lights up the rear. Brock Morisset is now on the green sector as well in sector 2. Schultz is now come onto the circuit. See what Brock can finish the lap like here. So he just come through the final little run up to the fence, straight lines it out. Can he do? No, he doesn't improve. Doesn't improve, sadly. So he'll jump back to the pit lane now. Let's find Stephen. Where is Stephen? Stephen's now chasing down Peter Pavlovich. He's getting a nice little draft here. Oh, very deep into that Dandenong Road area. He gets a nice run here though. He's right on the back of Peter. Peter's just going to pull left and say, you can take it, mate. Away you go. Let's jump on board with Stephen and see what he can do. Into turn 1, he'll be back 4th, 3rd. Use 2nd late in the corner. So what's he got here? That sun's going to be brutal for these boys tonight. Coming through that area. Tim Nichols on a purple flyer. Throw to him in just a second. Stephen's on a green as well, so he's on a personal, well, not personal best, but he's on a very nice sector. So just confirming we will have a shootout tonight. So we do have 11 cars competing for the shootout. It's quite interesting. So one car is going to be left out. Throw to Tim as he finishes off his lap, and then we'll bounce back to Stephen because that's an orange sector. Oh, Tim's bailed on the lap. That was looking really nice. Callan Hodgkinson is out on a green sector as well. We'll have to see what he can do. Stephen's got through this lap really nice. Can he finish it though? Boosts himself up off a 112.16 and he goes to a 109.76. That's 3 seconds off his lap. It's a good lap there by Stephen. Here's Callan Hodgkinson. The nice looking shunts livery there. What could he do? Callan setting what looks to be his first lap. Can he get himself in the window? And he goes into P9 with a 108.91. The Callan just setting up there. Rob Visser just went with a green last sector, so he's on a start of a flying lap now. We'll have to see. Bradley Wall also on a good lap here. He's got a bit of a draft there from, looks like Peter Pavlovich, so that'll be nice help at the back end of this lap. It's through here. Currently sitting P3 in our championship is this car. Can he do? Can he up from his 107.67? What can he finish with? He goes no improvement. He must have had an off track on that lap, so sadly, no improvement. Callan Hodgkinson now on 2 green. And coming through the last sector, what can Callan deliver? Can he deliver it into the top 5? He bumps up to P8 with a 108.30. Nice lap there. Peter Pavlovich again green. Bradley Wall again green. So these boys are very close on track. So Brad Wall again with 2 green boxes now. Peter Pavlovich just running a little wide there. Using a little bit too much curb. That's going to... Oh, he's gone straight ahead. Hopefully he's all right. But that leaves Bradley Wall now with 2 green boxes into this final sector. See what he can do. Gets a little bit of curb on the right. Runs up there. What's happened to Cowie, Gerard? Bradley Wall doesn't improve. We'll jump on board with Mr. Cowie Cowan as he now comes through. He's on a green and an orange sector, so we'll see what he can manage. He's using a lot of that curve, and I think it just unsettled him into the turn-in point there. Unfortunate there for Mr. Cowie. Daniel Schultz on a green as well. As we watch Daniel come through the back chute up here, as we like to call it. Jump on board and see what he's doing with this turn 6 corner. Does he go through flat? No, back in the, oh, he's back in the 4th gear very early. Oh, he's snaky under brakes, got a little wiggle. What's he delivering? He delivers a purple, an orange in sector 2. But I saw purple flash for a minute then. Rob Visser with a stellar lap so far, 2 green. Can he elevate himself up the leaderboard? He is in P11, so he's just outside of that top 10. Does need 1 spot to elevate himself into that 10 if he wants to have a crack at it. This could be the lap that brings him up a fair way. As we just watch him cross the line now. There he goes, up into P8, 108.27. That's a flyer there for Rob Visser. That's a good lap. Good lap. Boys are putting it in. Putting in some nice laps there. Is there anybody else on a lap? Doesn't look like anybody else is on a lap right now. A couple of guys in pit lane. Andrew Cowan just come out of pit lane. Tim Nichols is still in pit lane. I think he's pretty comfortable there. He's sitting on a 107.32. And Brock Monteshead is back down as well, 107.18. I think those boys are pretty comfortable. Rob's back on another 2 green sectors here. Steven Sinkovic has got a green sector as well. This is Rob doing some good work here. Can he finish the lap? Can he elevate himself up a few more spots? No, he doesn't. Purple sector there. Orange sector. Jeez, I'm getting them wrong tonight. Alright, so Stevens bailed on his lap. Peter Pavlovich on a green. Oh, there's a purple. Purple sector 1. There we go. Oh, that was... Who was that off in the background? That was Bradley Wall up in the background. Brett Taylor just set a new lap. 107.89. We're just watching Peter. Does he climb? No, he doesn't. Daniel Schultz does climb himself into P8 now. 108.17 drops Rob Visser back down 1 spot. So the bubble right now, Callum Hodgkinson. Steven Sinkovic is sitting in P11. And Callum Hodgkinson just in the 10 right now. So if Stephen can find about half a second, he'll be very close to knocking out Callum Hodgkinson there. Ray Oliver's just punched the purple sector in that back section. Was it enough? 107.61 last lap, so not quite enough to elevate him over Peter Pavlovich. Brock Monteshead with a purple as well, 107.04. That's a good lap. Fastest lap we've seen out there today. Nice lap there by Brock. So as this starts to wind down, we've got about 8 minutes left of quali before we lock in our top 10 and go and have a one-lap shootout to see who takes the pole position for tonight's race here at Sandown Raceway. Who's that coming out? Brock's coming out now. Andrew Cowan is out there. He was just making pit stops, maybe changing fuel trim or maybe retuning the setup a little bit just to try and get a little bit more out of it. Steven Sinkovic on green, second sector. Can he get this last sector worked out? Down through there, Steven. Turn the... That's a good exit. Jump on board. Let's jump on board with Mr. Sinkovic here and see what he can finish. Needs about half a second, actually 0.7 he needs to get over the top of Talon. Can he deliver? Oh, did he? Did he deliver? 108.84. Oh, he did better his time, but not quite enough to get into that top 10. Go back out and try and find some more pace there, Mr. Sinkovic. As we're just looking down the order, everyone's on orange sectors right now, so no one really lighting up the Christmas tree. Talon Hodgkinson there sitting in P10 in the shunts livery. That's yeah, P10 man right there. I think Steven Sinkovic will be very happy with that 108, putting him not quite in the 10, but very close to it. So he'll be very excited with that. Daniel Schultz is now on a green second, and he's deep into turn 6. He's gone through 7, 8, now into 9. Gets the grip, gets out of 9, good drive. Flicks through the kink here. Down into 10 and 11. Gets good drive, the car's nice and stable by the look of that. Gets off the corner really well. Does he finish the lap with another green? He does. 108.17 still registering on the timesheet. Maybe there was an off track there? Not sure. But that was a good lap. So well done, Mr. Schultz. Andrew Cowan's in the pit. We're going to start seeing the last little bit of a dash here, folks. Oh! The 64 of Daniel Schultz in the fence. Ray Oliver again, a green in sector 1, but orange in sector 2, so made a little slip up maybe. Just got a little bit quick in the first sector and couldn't get the pace through the second one. So we'll have to see what Ray does here, whether he can elevate his... Well, he won't be elevating because he's just rotated there at the last corner. But he'll just trickle up here in the pit lane. Right, he's going to go for another one. Go for another lap. Right, who else is on anything right now? So you see Hodgkinson just coming back out. Steven Sinkovic has gone off. But down... Looks like turn 1. It is, it's turn 1. He's gone straight ahead there. Hasn't made the corner, so he'll just trundle back on at his leisure. We've got all the top guys out there all just pushing now, so we'll see if anyone can get onto a flyer. We'll chuck Andrew Cowan back on the screen. He's coming down through the final complex. He's going to try and tighten his run up. Probably going to pull those belts tight, and he's going to have another crack at this, I would think. Peter Pavlovich now with a green last sector, so he's just fine-tuning things, getting ready. Here we go. I think Cowie's going to let rip this lap and see how he goes. So let's jump on board with Mr. Cowie and let's ride with him for this lap and see how he goes, folks. Turn this up and enjoy the sight and sounds of Sandown Raceway. sadly, I think, yeah, we might have messed that one up into the back of 7 and 8 down there. But still a very handy lap. Joe Mahoney in the chat, spewing you have to work tonight. Mate, that's unfortunate. Very sad, man. Looking forward to. I saw you in the session as well earlier, so I was like, oh, maybe we will get to see you on track tonight. But no, sadly. Peter Pavlovich now coming through again. Not really on a flyer. I think the top 10 might be set, and might be very happy there. I think Steven Sink, which is our only one outside of the 10. So he might have a bit of a practice session all to himself here as we go and set up for our top 10. But looks like it's going to be Rob Visser will be the first out to set a top 10 shootout lap. Followed by Daniel Schultz, Cullen Hodgkinson, Andrew Cowan, Brett Taylor, Bradley Wall, Ray Oliver, Peter Pavlovich, Tim Nicol, and it will be Brock Mottershead to be last out in the shootout, unless that order changes. Cowie's just had another green. Cowie's really quick in the first half of this lap. It just can't get the back half of the lap put together, so... Whoa, up over the curb, Cowie. So Brock using all of that curb. As we see now, we'll ride with Brock and see what he can do. Can he get a lap in? That's going to be better than a 107.04 and better his own time. Not quite sure he really needs to push though. I think he could just be out here for rhythm runs, just to try to get in the zone, find out where his rhythm is, at what part of the circuit, where he needs to make some cleanup or little driver changes. A lot of the changes in this particular circuit are going to be driver changes, not car changes. They're going to be tweaking their own little, how would you say, they're their own technique. They're going to be, oh, you got right up on the back of Daniel Schultz there. They might have balked his lap actually. That's strong sector 2. Oh, he's going the inside, is he? Nah, he pulled out of that. See, they'll be making changes to themselves and how they brake the car, or where they brake the car, how deep they go, but that's going to wind up qualifying right there. 25 minutes has ticked over. Unless somebody's on a lap, I don't think they're going to get it. So yeah, our top 10, Brock Mottershead, Tim Nicol, Peter Pavlovich, Ray Oliver, Bradley Wall, Andrew Cowan, Brett Taylor, Cullen Hodgkinson, Daniel Schultz, Rob Visser. And missing the top 10 by only 0.57 of a second, Steven Sinkovich. Track temp tonight on screen now. It would appear to be about 19 degrees and 19 ambient, so it's quite a cool track. That might take the boys a little time to get their stuff organised. So that is our quali done and dusted. So in reverse order for our top 10 tonight, we Rob Visser to go out first and set a lap time, followed by Daniel Schultz, Cullen Hodgkinson, Brett Taylor, Andrew Cowan, Bradley Wall, Ray Oliver, Peter Pavlovich, Tim Nicol, and Brock Mottershead will be the last out on circuit. So stick with us, guys, as we throw across to our intermission screen. We will get into our shootout lap and be talking with the guys when they come in from their lap. We'll see what they're doing, and we will have a bit of a chat with them. I will have, hopefully, Pete Baxter with me in just a moment. So stay tuned and we'll be back real soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our shootout round. And I've just had word from Race Control that it's a top 11 shootout. So we are going to see all 11 drivers from quality go through. That's going to be awesome. And what is even more awesome is joining me currently in the box, Mr. Peter Baxter. Welcome on in, sir.
Hey, Rob, good evening. It is a pleasure to be with you tonight. And again, thank you for the invitation. I haven't got a contract for Tuesday nights, but this is 3 in a row, so I might have to start asking for one.
I reckon you might, mate. I reckon you're almost a shoe in there, so we'll have to speak with the boss man about that. But speaking of the boss man, we're actually going to get him to do a hot lap around here, and we're going to get to ride on board with it, mate. This is going to be something pretty special.
Hey, let's give it a go, mate. A top 11 shootout. Now, look, who can really complain? Do you want to have 10 shootouts when there's only 11 people and have someone sit out for what would essentially be sort of 20 minutes as we work through the process? Let's give everyone a shot. I'm kind of excited. Others might say, nah, bugger him. He's got to earn his bloody right to be there. But, for me, I'm excited to see everyone give a chance, right?
Don't bring in our chat just before we come into the box. Keep that out of here. I did say he needs to earn his stripes, but no, look, I mean, it's 11 cars. I mean, if there was, say, 12 or 13, okay, I could probably understand. You got to stick to the thing. But you know what? It's 11 cars. It's a spectacle anyway. It's Sandown. It's short. It's fast. It's technical. Why not have a crack at it?
But what it also does is, because the boss is like car number 11, we get a chance to watch him for a whole lap, hang crap on him about everything he does wrong, because any other time you can't. So how good is this, right?
That's right. And look at this, here he rolls out of pit lane.
Here he rolls out, missed a pit limiter or something like that. We can, the big Steve Sinkovich, out he comes. Doesn't get a whole lot of time to practice because he is fairly busy with SRW. Loves his Tuesday night AM racing when he can. I know he has family commitments and every now and then he misses out, but to see him on the track, to see him in the SRW livery, good on you, Steve. I call him the big sinker, and I'll give you my fishing analogy for the big sinker later, but it's good to see him on track. Yeah, let's see how he goes. He's got to get out for the warm-up first, so we might be nice for the warm-up lap.
I think what we need is get your graphics guy to come and do one with a lawnmower on the side of this car with SRW on it, just to fit the theme for Mr. Sinkovich here, because he doesn't mind doing a little bit of lawn mowing out there in the supercar.
Oh, mate, I got to tell you, up here in the tropics of Queensland, there's lots of lawn mowing businesses, so I'm sure I could find someone with a really cool logo to make Sinker's lawn mowing or something like that.
Yeah, but, that's right.
He's on a warm-up lap, so give him the car a bit of a wiggle up the back straight, trying to warm up the tyres. The thing with these cars is normally people go slow on their warm-up laps. Is there a chance that he's pushing it too hard to start with?
I mean, it's Steven Sinkovich. Does he know any other way?
True.
So we just got a few in the chat there. Jason Douglas says, can't wait to join, especially with top 10. Mate, we'll be looking forward to having you in the series or in the box at some point and having a chat with you about your top 10 lap. But we're going to jump on board now with Mr. Sinkovich and ride with him through this lap and see what he can do.
Here he goes, Big Sinker. Get out wide next to the fence, man. Out wide. More to the right. Come on. You've got to be driving down the yellow line at Sandown here. Hit your braker marker just as the pit entry. There he goes. He's on the marker. Nice and straight. Oh, nice turn into turn one. Just coming off the curb, which is lovely. This is a tricky little spot. He's got to jump the curbs. Oh, he's played it safe. He's played it safe. He's only jumped one curb.
Oh, no, he's gone. There it is. It's all over.
And he's hit the one wire. That's it. Game over. All right. I think the big sinker's going to sink down to the bottom of this time, so that's a bit of a shame. The old 1-pointer. Maybe we put a little bit too much pressure. I hope he's not listening to the YouTube while he's driving. That's probably not good for him.
Well, with that lap over, we might drag him into the room. Well,
he's still pushing it.
Mr. Sinkovich, the lap's over. Unfortunately, it ended not the way you wanted it to. Take us through what you got through in the first 3 corners.
What can I say? I didn't take that corner very well, and I didn't think the tyres were actually... I don't think I had the tyres warm enough, to be honest with you.
A bit cold
Didn't
out
look
there.
like didn't look like he had the tyres warm enough to get in the pit lane there, Steve. You were pushing pretty hard on the first lap, mate.
Yeah, I was trying to get the heat in, and I've never had to get heat in the tyres in one lap like that before, so I didn't really know what to expect. I haven't even practiced to do something like this, so it's a little bit different to what you would normally expect to get the heat in there, and then I saw it straight away, that left-hander after that little chicane. That's the first time I've hit the wall there all night tonight, so yeah, it's different. It's the anticipation of what you got to do and prepare for is completely different. Yeah,
Oh, well, mate, she's a long race with 2 stops.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I'm just going for survival, man. I'm just going to be at the back where it's going to be no matter what, and I'll just keep it on the black and white areas, and hope a few people will take each other out and see how we go.
All right,
the goal is a top 10.
Right, well, you're in a good position to get there, mate. Well done. Rob started his lap, so we'll let you go. Have a good breather, and we'll see you in the race, mate. Good on you.
Yeah.
Cheers. Rob Visser started his lap, P10, so he came out of practice P10. Missed a couple of apexes there in 1 and 3.
and he's
He's
gone
doing
in
the
the same spot.
thing. Mate, what's going on, Rob? What do you think?
I just don't think
What
it's
do you
heat.
think?
I just think the heat's not there, mate. I just think they're not getting the front grip up. That's all it is. But we'll bring Rob in and have a chat with him.
Yeah. She's a 19-degree track temperature, and that's 2 in a row.
Rob, you're in the box, mate. What happened? Lap's over. We got you on the comms there, Rob.
Oh, he slowed down. He might have microphone problems, mate. But yeah, Rob, if you're listening to us, mate, 19-degree track temperature. Yeah, same fate has happened to Steve in front of you as happened to yourself in same corner. Hit a bit of the fence on your shootout lap. Try and find out whether you overshot that or just think you didn't wind your tyres up enough.
Looks like Rob's got some technical issues going on there. So what we'll do is we'll throw him back to the wilds. Wish him all the best. Rob, if you can hear us, mate, good luck out there on the race tonight. Hopefully we get to chat with you later on and go out there and have fun, mate.
No, absolutely. And I warn you, Steve Sinker's looking for a top 10 tonight, so stay in front of him, and that's your challenge, man. Good luck tonight.
Let's throw Rob back up there. On screen now, Mr. Dragon RC, Daniel Schultz. We see a very different start out here, Pete. Look at this. He's working those front tyres hard.
Oh, and also he's on the throttle and on the brakes, and on the throttle and on the brakes. So this is a very different approach to his laps. I think Dan, you reckon Dan's looked at the other 2 laps and gone,
100%.
cold track?
100%. He's looked at those 2 boys and gone, I can't make that mistake. I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm going to clear this out and get on with it. So I think we'll jump on board with him as we come out of this back exit. So we'll see how he goes on the turn 1. So notice the other 2 boys pushed a little wide on turn 1, so we'll see how Dan goes.
Yeah, well, Dan's taken that quite tight, and he's only slowly moved over to the side of the track there. Yeah, he's hit a nice late braking marker with the straight car into turn 1. Right on the apex for turn 1. What a beautiful corner. Well done, Dan. Yep, he's looking at that. He's bouncing the car off the first. First, that's all right there. It can be tricky if you lose control of it, but you need to, to get speed, you need to come off those curbs anyway. He's got a good exit. He's certainly going to be in front of Stephen Ray, so that's a good point. But he does have 3 really tricky corners to come.
We'll see how he goes through here. He's been 5th gear, 4th gear kind of all night, so he's definitely 5th gear. Skip the curb, jump it, down into the braking zone. Get it stopped, turned in.
Yeah,
good
he's lost some
exit.
time there. Well, he's missed the apex, but he's had a good exit. So might have braked a bit later coming out of 6 and 7. And he's coming on there to the main straight really well. Hold it wide and flat, and away you go. And here we go. We'll see the first representative time here from Dan. What's the time that Dan's put up? It's 108.315. So that's a nice time, actually. That is a really nice time. In fact, I'd be buying that one. So good on you, Dan. Great result.
Mr. Dragon RC, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, bud. First one with a time on the board, so I'll take that every day of the week.
What was with the outlet warm-up? You watch other two boys just go a little bit hard and thought you'd slow it down and work your tyres a bit more, or was that always a strategy?
No, that was always a strategy to get these things up nice and warm. The car setup, this one I've kind of gone an opposite way to what I usually do. I've thrown the race set in for quali just to see what I can get out of it. It turned out better, a bit slower than my pre-qual lap, but better than nothing.
Oh,
yeah, that race set might have helped you, mate, with the extra weight on the warm-up lap. So well done, good thinking. You're on the board and you are a P1 currently. So let's see where the rest comes out.
Beautiful, thanks, mate.
good luck.
Right, good luck, mate.
All right, young Cullen Hodgkinson now in the hot seat. Gets his lap started. He's done very similar warm-up, Pete. I was watching him in that little preview lap, and he was kind of doing the same things. He was working those front tyres. Looks like he's got a nice little skip through there too.
So these guys, he took that 3 and 2 or 3 curving really well.
Purple sector one.
Sectors are up. Yep.
He's on it.
Yeah. No, and he's come out of turn 4 really well as well. So that gives him a lot of time down the back straight here.
Yeah, if you can get square off that turn 4, you make the straight just a little bit longer and a little bit faster, so you kind of carry more in. Beautiful line through there.
He's held 6 and 7, and he's got Dandy on just a bit tighter than Dandy. So I'd expect that he's going to be up here.
Green sector. Get him straight in as he crosses the line here.
Yeah, this is a good lap on the throttle nice. This is a good lap from Cal. I think this is going to be a good time. I think we're going to be looking a low 8s, maybe a high 7s.
108.3.
Oh,
108.6. What happened there? He must have dropped away in the last bit. Let's get him in. Cullen Hodgkinson, mate, take us through the lap. Looked like it was a good one right up until you crossed the line, and then it's P2.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was a bit tentative, not the quickest, but I got through without an off track, so.
Yeah, well, that's right. So you saw the boys probably the first two go out, had those off tracks. Did that kind of worry you a little bit? The track wasn't quite responding?
Yeah, well, the last couple of shootouts that I've done, I've got an off track and haven't put a time down, so I just thought I'd take it a bit conservative and put the time on the board.
Well, mate, congratulations. You're currently sitting P2 with a few to come, but not too bad. Good luck in the race.
Thanks, mate.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
All right, and here we got
Brett
my man
Taylor.
Brett Taylor that I raced on another night during the week. Now, the interesting thing, like Brett's gone out and he has done a warm-up lap like a cold tyre outlet. He's just gone out flying. So, he's missed the apex there on one. He's missing some apexes here, so I'll be surprised if this
Green
is
sector.
faster.
He's green.
Green sectors.
He's green. He's
Pushing hard though.
one. He's pushing it.
There's no shyness here from Mr. Taylor. The Valve Motorsport team is just Brett, just go for it, mate. Just flat out. Yeah, no wire tyres. Just drive.
Yeah, just drive, mate. Just send it. What's he do here? 5th gear, 4th? He's using 4th gear here. A couple of boys are using 5th. Trying to get...
nice and... Trying to get it. Yeah, nice and safe, I think, from Brett. And, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago with Brett. Brett's a safe driver. Yeah.
He's got the tyres on the back end of this lap. Looks like it's going to finish really well.
Looks like he's just driven his rhythm. I'll tell you what, we might see a surprising time out of here. And that might wake some boys up.
109.24.
Oh, 109.2. Okay, yeah, no, a little bit slower.
Bring him in. Go.
Classic Brett Taylor lap, isn't it? That's a classic Brett Taylor lap. Get out there and just run your sequence and away you go. Brett, over to you, mate.
Oh, mate, that is my first top 10 shootout, so I was laying eggs.
We'll edit that out later on, mate. No, it's all good. Hey, how was the tyres out there early on? They looked a little
slippery for some reason. Yeah, slippery.
Yeah, right.
They were slipperier now than what they were in open quali.
Oh.
So you got a light tank out there for quali, Brett?
Nah.
No, okay, yeah. So I noticed
I haven't done this before.
you just jumped out like it was a cold tyre outlet.
Yeah.
So, would you change something next time?
Oh yeah, I dropped the fuel down and just did me 3 laps.
Well, good on you, mate. Hey, listen, we'll see you in the race. You're currently sitting P3, a few to come, but good luck tonight.
Yeah, that's good.
Very good, Brad.
All right. Cheers, buddy. Alrighty, now we got Cowie on the track already. He's already around to P4 on his fast lap, mate. And I've been watching his lap 1 and 2. He has hit the apexes. He's hit the curves through 2 and 3, just off the apex at 4. Cowie looks like he's on a good lap. This might be one to really watch for the night.
Cowie's been issues back up here, though. He's really quick in the first part of the lap. The second part of that, I don't know if he's just overdriving the car or what, but he's been struggling down here. And then he's had a couple of issues in this next sector too. So he's just had a little bit of control there. So he's got 2 greens.
So he looks like the first person to jump over the apex at Dandenong. So that's promising for Cowie. Bit oversteering at the last turn. Oh, that's going to cost him some time. Not too much, because thankfully the start response is purple, and he's taken P1 with a 108.24, 0.1 second in front of Dan Schultz. Well done, Cowie.
Cowie, good lap, mate. Take us through it.
Yeah, look, it's not as grippy as it was in the practice, I don't think. So I don't know if the guys will get down 7 flats. But yeah, there's a little bit still out there. I was probably a bit conservative. But I've been struggling at Dandenong, so I sort of took it a little bit easier there this time, just to make sure, you know.
Yeah, we're talking about that just on the comms there, saying you were struggling in that sort of back half of the lap. You were really quick in the first half, but just struggling this back half of the lap. So, no, good lap, mate.
One of those things, man. I had a down pat last night, and then you jump in another night, you can't get it. So it's one of those things about this track.
Sandown. She looks simple, but she's technical. Cowie, well done, mate. You're currently sitting P1. A few to come yet, but that's a good result so far.
Thanks, boys.
Good luck, mate.
All right, good luck in the race, mate. Now, we have the SRW superstar of of the Am Series, don't we? Yeah, he's the leading staff member of the Am Series. You know? Other admins might want to jump in next season just to try and challenge him a little bit, but let's not make his head too big. He's out on the track now. Yep. Oh, yeah, no. Well, that's scary, isn't it? You can't have SRW win the championship. Right. But the good thing is, Cowie, he's hit the apexes and he's jumped the curves at 2 and 3, just off the apex here at 4, so he's got a good run, nice exit. Looking good coming onto the back straight.
Purple first sector, he's up.
Yep.
And he's up a lot, so he'll be watching this very closely. So Cowie said doesn't know if they'll get into the 7s, but I think Brad might be the one to tickle the 7 if he can just get through this back half of the lap. Also, good evening, Greggy Leak in the YouTube chat. Thank you for joining us, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, Cowie's just shot a bit over at Dandenong there. Just a little bit late on the brakes and he's missed the 8. That'll cost him some time. A few tenths maybe.
See what he can finish with though. It's a good lap.
Oh no, it's a good lap. And he's much tighter on the apexes for 11 and 12.
What an exit.
A little bit. I think Brad's going to be happy with this lap.
Oh, and it's a purple sector too.
Oh, there he is.
Into the
7.6s. That's half a second
Bradley
faster.
Wall. Take a bow into the 7s, mate. Take us through that lap.
It started off alright. I was travelling along quite nicely until I got to the, I don't know, was it turn 11 or 12 there at the end of the back straight, and I thought I'd cooked it and was going off, but she pulled in and come through, my lights all went green again, and yeah, I was happy.
Yeah, I think you might have hit your brakes a bit late going into Dandenong and you just missed the apex, but at least you got the car turned and come out of it, so good on you, man.
Thank you, I enjoyed that, that was awesome.
Good luck, awesome. Mate. So, currently P1, so that's 7, what have we got, 4 to go, Rob? So,
yeah, mate.
And Brad's currently P1. Yeah, there we go.
I don't think I'll stay there. I reckon Brock and Tim have got me, but it'll be interesting to see what Peter and Ray do. I'll be watching their laps closely.
All right, well, Ray's just started his, mate, so congratulations on your lap. Good luck tonight, and we might chat later.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Cheers, mate.
All right, yeah, riding on board with Ray Oliver now through turn 1 as he now lines up for 2 and 3. Gets the curb, and again,
gets the curb.
Does he get it pulled up?
Hits the apexes, gets the curb. So you can see the difference between the guys that are not so fast and the guys that are pulling fast laps, right? The guys that are pulling fast laps are hitting the apexes and jumping the curbs where the car's settled, whereas the guys that are not so fast are missing the apex. So, Ray's in that we're in the fast
green
category
boxes.
for tonight. So yeah, 2 green boxes, and up
Two
he goes.
greens. Oh, look at the curb hop. Bang, just slaps it.
See,
Oh, no!
he's
Oh,
overshot it in the Dandenong, come off the track. So that's our third with a 1 by tonight. What a shame for Ray. He's going to have a fight back tonight after that.
Ray, unlucky, mate. Good lap right up until it wasn't so good, mate. Take us through it.
It's just one of those things, you know. Try a few different things in the setup, and away you go.
Yeah, right. What did you find the most?
But it still wasn't a 1X, so I'm happy with that.
I think you got away with it. Well done.
Oh wow. What was the track condition like out there, mate? The boys were saying it's a little slippery.
It's okay. It's just, me getting used to the car still, so... I mean, I've just jumped in with 30 minutes practice and that's it, but I do like Sandown, but it's just, me getting used to everything.
Well, P6,
Well, mate,
mate.
if you're in the sevens in practice with 30 minutes of experience in the car, I hate you. But look, good luck tonight. You're going to have a bit of a fight through some guys in the field. Take it easy. It's a long race, and we maybe talk to you at the end of the race if it all goes well for you. Good luck.
Yeah, I've just got to get past a certain bus.
Yeah. Good on you, mate. We'll chat to you later on.
That's right. We'll put him in the Peter Colbier. See you, mate.
Put him back up in the chat room, and we got Peter Pavlovich now about to start his hot lap. Mate, it's looking real interesting. The top of the tree, Bradley Wall, is still unchallenged at the moment, so this could be interesting.
And it's a good time too. It's a good chunk of time.
This is going to make the boys behind him really work, isn't it? They now know what the benchmark is, and they've got to push. And if the track is a little bit slippery and they're not getting the grip that they're looking for, we might just see a few more just pop. Oh, we see Pete just get a little taily there. Maybe he doesn't quite have the temperature. Yeah, he doesn't quite have the temps up, does he?
Well, I think that's the thing that's challenging them, right? So, 19-degree track, and they've only got just the outlet to warm the tyres up. And normally with these tyres at Sandown, you do need 2 laps to get them to prime temperature. But, it's good to see pressure because we really see who can take it. You and I at fault, mate. We'd be off before we get to 4. But he's missed just Mini-Nong, he's missed the APEC, and he's oversteering out there. This won't do out to be a good light. Pete's going to have to find him. He's going to end up finding himself a fight in the race, I think.
I think he's going to be right beside his good sparring buddy, Ray Oliver, there for sure. That's going to definitely slow him up a little bit. But we'll watch his lap, we'll complete it, and we'll jump on board with him. And there we have his lap. There you go, 109.25, so right beside Brett Taylor. So let's drag him in, have a chat. Peter Pavlovich, welcome into the room. Take us through the lap, mate.
Yeah, it was a little bit on the terrible side. There's a few corners, so that's not always good. But,
do you think you prepped the tyres? Do you think you prepped the tyres right, Pete, or was it something else?
Just think I got a little bit ambitious at the beginning.
Fair enough. Yeah, you did miss that apex. Yeah.
So at least that's on time that counts, so won't be too bad. Long race, an hour to go, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, at worst I've got you in P7 to start the race, so that's not too bad. So, I think we've got a long way to go, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, see ya.
Thanks,
All
mate.
right, good luck,
Have a
mate.
good one, mate. All right, in comes Tim and Nickel in the Pecky's livery.
So Tim,
we've only got Tim
second
and
fastest.
Brock Motteshead. Yeah, we've only got 2 left,
Yeah.
mate. So Bradley Wall looking really good right there in pole position right now. So,
And there you go. Tim's the first driver to really go out to the right before he hits that braking zone in turn 1. So you can, and there's again another
Purple
difference in
sector.
speed. Purple, apex, curb.
yeah.
So you can already tell. I think anybody watching this, if they go through this and watch the first few cars and then watch the first half of Tim's lap, I think you can see why he's already faster.
Purple again. It just looks like he's going to take the top unless something drastic happens here. He gets
much tighter through 7. He's taken more curb than anybody. He's the second car to really take that curb well through Dandenong. Yeah, this is going to be a good lap from Tim. This is like purple.
100%.
Yeah, I think Brad's in trouble here.
Yeah, this is unless something drastic happens, which I don't think it will now.
No, it's a good
We'll
lap.
see Tim jump to the top, but that's still a good result for Bradley Wall on the front row.
That's a fabulous lap. Yeah, I think we'll see Tim jump. And there he is, 107.3, mate. That is a great lap. Yeah.
Tim Nicol, congratulations, mate. Provisional pole with Brock still to run, but that's a good lap, mate.
Thanks, guys. Yes, I don't mind this track. I had a bit of a run on Sunday night with the NT Series boys, so I was pretty keen to sort of put down some times, but just didn't pull it through tonight on that one, unfortunately.
Wait, 7.3 and you didn't pull it through?
No, I'd seen what Brock did in the pre-qual session. It was a 7 flat, so I knew I needed to be around that, so...
Oh, man. Yeah, don't underestimate the difference between a pre-qual and a shootout. I think 7.3 is a good bit of press out for Brock.
All right, we'll wait and see, eh?
Yeah, all right.
Go have a drink.
Good on you, man. Enjoy a quick break and good luck tonight in the race.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Take it, Tim.
Bloody 7.3 and I didn't
get it. I didn't get my lap in. It wasn't quite good enough at a 7.3. So you can't tell me they're not drivers, mate. They're drivers. They want to go faster every time.
Oh, it's Tim Nicol, our next pro.
Brock Mottershead back in his second year there. That's interesting. What does he get here? Does he get... Oh, he's got a lot of that curve. Oh.
Yeah, he missed the curve, and he's just off the apex, mate. He's green, not purple. Yeah, see?
Green, so it's still there. So the lap could be coming. What has Brock Mottershead got for everybody? Does he take the pole position away from Tim Nicol? Or does he not?
Or is the pressure too much?
Well, he knows what he's got to do. So
Tim was tighter through 7.
Oh,
and
Brock's
Tim was a lot tighter through 9.
Look at the flow, though. That's green again.
Green is not purple, mate.
Yeah, purple's only personal best.
Yeah.
Or session best. So greens are still solid.
Yeah, green's solid. But you'd be looking for purple in the shootout. Oh, he's taken this really tight.
Yeah. He's done it. Has he done it?
What's he ended up with?
Oh, P2. 107. Oh,
there
bring
you go,
him in.
0.1.
Brock Mottershead. Mate, take us through that lap. What a cracker.
Yeah, it was not bad at the start there. I stuffed it after that last S-bend there. I went a bit wide and missed the apex, so I lost a bit of time there, but oh well.
Mate,
P2
racing. P2, right beside Tim Nicol on the front row, and you got a couple of, Brad Ward behind you was pretty quick as well. How's the race looking?
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited for it. At least, yeah, I'll have to work for it, I guess.
So, Brock, did you have Tim's time in mind when you set off your fast lap, or you were just a bit ahead of that?
No, I heard just before I took off, I heard what he got, and I went, oh, Jesus, a bit of pressure. So, I don't really like pushing it to the limit in the top 10 because you don't really get another chance. But, yeah, no, it's all good. Makes for good racing anyway.
No, it does, mate. Hey, listen, front row start, P2, I think that gives you the outside here at Sandown, which is actually not too bad. Take it easy with you and Tim, and I think we're looking forward to a really strong race.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks,
you too, mate.
Well, Pete, what a shootout. That was, not only was it quick, but there was 11 cars in it. How exciting.
Well, no, it was exciting, but it demonstrated the difference between the fast guys and the guys at the back of the grid. The guys that made mistakes have now got to fight for their race. And, it also demonstrated that by Tim coming out as the second last car and putting down a solid time, Brock Mottershead is a little bit susceptible to pressure and it'll get in his head. So that's good, right? Because you can, as a driver, you can go, all right, I can pressure this guy. And if you end up behind him and just sit in his bumper bar for the whole race, you can go, I pressured him in the top 10. Can I pressure him in a race, right? Yeah, it's all these little things that drivers talk about. It just gets so exciting when you see some of this stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, for all our folks out there in YouTube land and Facebook land watching us, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. Hit those notifications so you never miss when we go live. What we're going to do now, we're going to throw to an intermission screen and we're going to go and load into the race server. We're going to come back and we're going to give you some live, 1 hour race here at Sandown with these guys. We are V8 Supercar Am Series brought to you by SimRigs and Warren and Brown Tools. So we'll be right back, guys. Don't go away. Yes, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are back at Sandown as we get through the bit of a warm-up here while we wait for the drivers to connect into our race server. Now, I was just chatting to my little counterpart here in the box with me, and this is quite an interesting story. So young Bradley Wall's going to line up out of P3 tonight, and he's currently third in our championship. Ray Oliver, who had that big spill and dropped back to like, what was it, 8 or 9? Might have been 7 or 8. He's currently P2 in our championship, so that's a bit of a mix-up there. So if Brad can maintain his position tonight and get in front of Ray by a few points, he might get up there. There's only 16 points separating second and third in the championship, and then obviously Brock Mottershead out there in first in the championship with 1,026 points. But yeah, Ray Oliver 939, Brad Wall 923, Andrew Cowan actually not sitting too far off the pace with 899. And then you've got Brett Taylor sitting back there in P5, the championship, with 809. So as we come into the last 3 rounds, I think there's still drop rounds to go into that as well. So Brad Wall, putting himself in P3 tonight, it's really given himself a great opportunity to really cement his place coming into the later part of the season with drop rounds. So this will be fun.
It will be, Rob. I've got a bone to pick you. I'm not little, but the thing you've forgotten, mate, is Tim Nicol. He's the outlier tonight, right? So Tim's qualified second.
Yep.
P10 in the championship, so he can't jump into a podium position, but he can mix the results up, and he's fast.
Yes, he can. That was. That's one of the little, what would you say, the cat amongst the pigeons. You know, Tim could really disrupt this little top trio up there and just start taking some points away. So again, we can't count Tim out, and he's definitely in a position where he could make some people cry, I think. And one of those, we definitely don't need to be in our top 3, because that's a cracking battle right now. There's only like 100 points separates the top 3. So as we prep in for our drop rounds, it's anybody's game up the top.
I did learn once, you never ask a question that you don't know the answer to, but I'm about to. Ray, was it Ray? No, Tim. No, it was Ray. Ray Oliver mentioned it in the top shootout. He's going to be stuck behind a bus. Yep. Now, when he said that, I thought, I don't know who that is. Who's the bus? Who's the bus? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure. If anyone in chat knows, especially from the Frog Leap Juice team there, if anyone does know what Ray's referring to about the bus, definitely hit us up.
So obviously he's qualified in P7, so he's got Cowie, Brett Taylor, Pete Pavlovich and Dan Schultz in front of him. So one of them is a bust. Now, I don't know who it is. And maybe through Racecraft we might have to have a guess, but I thought it was a really interesting tag to put on somebody without a name. So we could have a little bit of fun tonight and say, who's the council worker? That could be another name for the bus.
That's right.
Have a little bit of fun. So
100%. I don't refer to you as little in the overall size of things, but little as in fresh into the box and little commentary time. That's where I'm at with that. But I'll dig myself out of that one.
Keep digging.
What are the numbers for tonight, Pete? I know you're a numbers man. You love numbers. You love to dig deep. You love to get all the nitty gritty and the dirty stuff on these drivers. What are the numbers for tonight? Take us through that.
Well, my favourite pastime with iRacing is drunken crew chief, right? So few red wines, jumping on, helping a team, coming up just with a wild strategy to a race. But to do that, you still got to do the numbers. So you got to have an understanding of the race, and then you just got to let your brain flow. Now, tonight's race, 55 laps of Sandown, 1 hour. Fuel burns about 2.6 litres per lap from the numbers I've got. 45% fuel tank for these cars tonight, so that's about let's say 50 litres.
Yep.
So we're talking, out of 55 laps, we're talking a 19 lap fuel stint. So now, what that means to me is it's definitely a 2-stop race. The fuel windows are very small. Right. So So there's not a lot of strategy play here if it's just a straight out green race, right? There's only maybe 1 or 2 laps of fuel window that people can play with undercut overcut. What will put a spanner in this works is a safety car. So if you have a safety car in this race that is nowhere near the fuel windows and everybody comes in and pits, that upsets the whole mix of things. So the race to me is interesting from that perspective. It's even as a straight shootout. Let's say there's no safety car. As a straight shootout, there's enough of a window. Let's call it 3 laps. There's enough of a window there for drivers to undercut overcut.
Yeah.
But if there's that, mid-window, call it mid-window safety car, then really the race is flipped on its head, and we got everybody, including all the drivers and their chiefs and spotters, have got to redo their numbers, mate, to see how they're going to get to the end when they do their pits. Because what happens is the fuel window opens up significantly. There'll still be another stop to the end. The fuel window opens up really significantly, so you can get a big undercut or overcut, particularly with only 11 cars on the track. So there's some fascinating things to play out tonight, and not only that, we got fast drivers at the back from the top 10 shootout because they didn't necessarily have a good lap, and we got some slower guys that are up the front because they had a really good lap. So there's a lot of things to look forward to tonight.
Well, we've just had word on the comms, and I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with this. So, Greggy Leak in our comms has said Brett Taylor is hard to pass like a bus. So now we've got some context, and this is something that you've been saying for a couple of weeks now. You say how wide Brett Taylor makes that car, so now you just might be able to slang with the rest of them, mate. You'll know who the bus is.
Okay, that's a big call from Leaky. I don't know if Brett knows he's got that nickname, but look, you're right. I've been talking about Brett, and I really like the way he drives. Right, he's not the fastest driver in the world, but I raced with him on another night during the week in the same car, and I wouldn't say he's like a bus. He's a solid driver. He's there. He makes minimal mistakes. He drives at his pace, and he sits there until you make a mistake. I wouldn't necessarily call that a bus. I mean, I'd call like John Bow super defending extra wide V8 supercar that's 3 Mustangs wide. I'd call that a bus, but so interesting. Yeah.
It's like the boys are just giving each other little nicknames out there, and it's good, mate. It just shows that little camaraderie, doesn't it? It's just like, I don't think Brett Taylor would have any real problems with that being thrown about, because he's definitely said he likes to make the racing tough and clean, but you got to have that little window where it is hard to pass a certain driver, because it just ups your own skill level, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, look, when I was a young bloke, I got a tour of the Mack factory. Mack make trucks in Brisbane, and one of the things the manufacturers said to us was, because they made trucks and buses, and we asked the big difference between, what's the big difference when you put a truck down the line and put a bus down the line? And I don't know if Brett wants to hear this, but he said, right, making a bus is just a truck with a skirt, right? Now, I don't think that's Brett Taylor. Right? Now, to be fair, I don't think that's Brett Taylor. So I'm not a big fan of the bus nickname. But...
It's a truck with a skip. Oh, that's a cracker. Greg Leak, if you're still listening, mate, I hope you're enjoying the explanation that Pete Baxter has given us there on the bus. So look, that's quite interesting for sure. So I'm pretty sure
I don't think Brett needs to be named a bus, eh?
And shout out to Brett. If you are listening, mate, it's all in good fun. The boys mean no harm, and it's get out there and keep doing what you're doing, mate, because you're also making the drivers drive better. So keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
I think on my other race night this week, I might keep a couple of cars between me and Brett, but we'll see what happens.
When's your next drop round, mate? Can you take that this week? You might need it.
Yeah, it's a hide round, not a drop round. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, well, we've got a minute and a half left in this little warm-up window for these boys to get their race trim sorted and get ready for what's going to be... could be Sinker. He wears a skirt. Wow. Leaky's on the charge tonight in chat.
Leaky's on fire. I'll leave that one alone. Now, I've got a question for you, Rob. Have you done some laps of Sandown in the Supercar?
No. I haven't touched the car, haven't touched the track. I've had no time to be on the sim at all in the last 3 weeks, mate, to be honest.
So simple track, looks simple. It's minimal corners, looks like a square with a couple of extra curbs, but highly technical. Front straight. Where do you get your time? You get your time from going really wide, late braking and straight, and then you get a nice turn. You come through turn 2 and 3. You get your time by cutting the curbs, but by cutting curbs, you can bounce the car into the wall. Where do you get a lot of time in the back straight? Coming out of turn 4. But where do you lose a lot of time? Losing the rear end out of turn 4. So it's a so highly technical track. The hardest part I find is the 6-7 sweeper out of the back end into Dandenong. Guys make a lot of time on me down that, and then coming in, hitting the brakes and getting the apex on Dandenong into turn 9, the 90 degree corner. That's a really, really tough corner. And then the last little chicane, 11 to 12 onto the straight. If you get that wrong, you're losing lap time all the way for the next lap. So the guys have a massively technical race tonight. Cold tyres to start with. It's a 21 degree temperature to start with, so they need to just take it easy. There's not a lot of cars on the track, so I don't expect safety cars. But here's what I do expect. I do expect a little bit of biff and budge from the faster guys coming through. I do expect a good race from those guys coming through, and also the fast ones at the front. And guys like the bus, dare I say, having a good go. And let's see how the big sinker can actually get himself off the bottom. Now, as a fisherman, I always take the big sinker last, right? So,
Right. Well, as we get the grid lined up here, Pete, it is Tim Nicol off the front, Brock Modishead out of P2, Bradley Wall out of 3, Andrew Cowan back there in P4, Daniel Schultz out of P5, Callan Hodgkinson hasn't come in just yet. There he is now, P6. Brett Taylor, Peter Pavlovich in 7 and 8, Ray Oliver, Rob Visser in 9 and 10, and Steven Sinkovich rounding out the 11. So, here we go, folks. As we get ready to go live with this race from Supercar Paradise, pretty much.
it is, isn't it? Make it a 500k race, and we're in Evan.
Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. Let's get a look at the start. Boys, right. Oh, Brad Wall got a lightning start. But the boys at the front are just going to settle into their groove. Well, Brad Wall looking up the inside early. Can he make the move on Brock? Keep it clean, son. Oh, he did. Look at that. Tim Nicol. Oh, that's Callan Hodgkinson around. Brad Wall looking around the outside.
Alrighty, so a little bit of biff and bard through the first few corners there. There's already called a race control to have that checked. So, so one of the cars had a little bit of off here. But come on, boys, settle down. Long race to go. You're not going to win this on the first corner, but you can lose it.
That's right, yeah. And Brad Wall looking real racy off the start. I don't know what he's done. Oh, Motorset around the outside at 7. Was it 6? That's 6 up there, isn't it? Yeah, that's right.
That's 6 and 7. Yeah. That's the place where fast drivers make a lot of time, mate. That is if you get that right at Sandown, you're in the 7s and you can get into the 6s. So, you know, Brock's got his head down. He's going to put it on. He's going to put it on Tim there at the front. I think he was that happy coming second out of the shootout. But you know, time will tell. Is he going to rush it or is he going to settle in and just see how he goes for the race?
Well, let's see, mate. He's right on board with him as he goes. Oh, he was looking there, wasn't he? He was looking. He's showing Tim he's there. He's not going to give him an easy ride through that front window. But yeah, first lap under the belt. Oh, we see Tim get real squirrely off that curb.
Yeah, that's how you drive Sandown, right? You got to get a little bit squirrely. You got to be on the edge and limit, especially through that 2-3 sector. But I think what Brock's doing is he's putting his nose right up there, saying, "I'm here, mate. You've got to keep it clean. Otherwise, feel the pressure."
Exactly.
Love the pressure.
See Peter Pavlovich now giving Andrew Cowan a bit of a push on, but Andrew Cowan down 3 spots, mate. So yeah, that's a bit strange.
No, Cowie got caught into that first lap incident. just with a little bit of biff and barge and a little bit of slippery. So there's a little bit of spots just changed in the first lap.
What's...
Can I settle in there?
All right, we'll change that. We'll go back to what happened there with Callan Hodgkinson. We'll just see what's gone on here. It's just, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in front and everywhere. Like,
yeah, so you just see 64.
There.
I think
Oh, that was Cowie. That was Cowie with Schultzy.
And then Cal, he's just had his own incident there. Nobody else is involved in that, but
oh,
you know,
look at this.
yeah.
Oh, look at this. This has tightened up something quick since we've been away. We've only been away for like a minute and a half. These boys
they're out of position, mate. That's
Cowie.
why. Oh, he's pushed Brad Wall out. Brad's lost 3 spots from that. No, that's Dan Schultz, sorry. Dan's lost 3 spots from that. And that's been called into race control as well.
Oh, Peter Public just give Cowie a little bump and run there. He's like, come on, son, move, let's go. He's on it.
It's a 1 hour race. Did I say patience in the race brief or not?
I don't know. Did you? I can't remember. Oh no, Cowie's gone and cleaned up Ray.
Oh, no, Cowie's gone.
Oh no.
And Pete's come into it. Oh, mate, they're just slowing each other down here. Yeah, and again, it's been referred to race control as well. So, hey, I'll tell you, these guys aren't listening to us, mate. Guys, slow down, patience. There's a long race to go, settle in.
Let's jump up to the front with the boss, as the boys are commonly calling him, Brett Taylor. He's got a nice little gap there, man. These front boys are just settled into a nice groove. They're not pushing hard on each other. They're just getting in the rhythm. The trick will be getting to that last little pit stop and getting in and getting out to get that window, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm not called in the bus, mate. I think it's. I don't think it's right. Everyone else can call in the bus. Brett, you're not a truck with a skirt to me, mate. But look, he's out there and he's he's up there in P4, having a good run, or is he up in P3 now after that? So. Brett's out there having a good run, settling in, and as he does, he will settle into his race rhythm and just continue to put pressure on P3.
How good? As we go on board with Sinkovic, and he's actually salvaged it. He salvaged it. He didn't hit the wall. I was just about to say, how good is it for him to be riding on the back of, say, Callan Hodgkinson, just learning where he's braking and placing the car? Like that would be a good thing for Stephen to sort of have in front of him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and now he can just watch Cal and he can just learn the lines and learn the braking. And if Steve just drives at his pace, right, and doesn't try to drive at anybody else's pace, with the way everything else is going tonight, he could be in for a good result. You just never know, right?
Could we see Sinkovic inside the 5? That's the question. I mean, he's up 2 spots already in the P9, so, anything's possible.
Mate, if Sinker gets in the P5 tonight, I'm racing the Am Series next run, okay?
Well, anything's possible, mate. So I don't think it's a question. I do not think it's a question. We need to see Pete Baxter in this Am Series racing around, having a good old digging with these boys, because this is some good racing. Might be slightly smaller field tonight than what we're used to, but this is still some good racing up and down the run here, as we see Cowie just getting right on the back of Schultz here again.
Yeah, no, the race has just settled down. Those first few laps of cars together, there's just a couple of pairs now, and these other pairs still settle down. Let's have a look. Who's out of position, do you think?
Oh, Cowie for sure. Cowie's definitely down from where he should be, and I think probably Callan Hodgkinson as well. I think he's probably a little bit faster than where he is right now. I don't think he's a 7. I think he's definitely a top 5, but Schultz, I think, might just be on his bubble where he is. Oh, whoa. Oh. Greg Leake says he'll join you, Pete. So there you go. You get in, and Greggy Leake will come join you, mate. So there we go. There's 2 more drivers for the Am Series here at SRW. I'm going to hold you boys to this. You've got it on
be careful
now.
Be careful, Greg. Unless you want to race at the back with me. Ray Oliver's out of place, mate. Ray's currently sitting in 10th.
And he was caught up in that.
Yeah, he was caught up, and he's still fast. So unless he's carrying damage, I think with the 2-stop race still to go, Ray's he's still up there. He's just sitting behind 9th. He's just sitting behind the big sinker, so he's still in the race. But can he climb back up to P1 or 2 or 3. Oh, there we go. And a drive-through penalty has just been announced for Dan Schultz, car 64, for that contact in turn 1 with Cowie. So race control's got through the first incident review. Car 64 is going to do a drive-through, and we'll see him do that in the next 3 laps.
Sinker's just let him go there, mate. He's just let Ray go. So that's a P9 for Ray Oliver and P10 for Steven Sinkovic. So where is Peter Pavlovich? He's a long way back now.
He's the long way back, and Cowie has just got around Dan Schultz. Dan's just come out of turn 4 a little bit slower than expected. Might be a little bit frustrated from that drive-through, but just cop it on the chin, Dan. Do your drive-through, man. Get out there. There's a long way in this race to go, and there's every chance that someone will blow an engine and get a safety car out there.
But there's still that overhanging cloud that we saw with Cowie locking up down here before and cleaning up Ray Oliver. Oh, Callan gone wide.
There's more incidents to go. Yeah, I think there was 3 others, if I recall rightly, referred to race control. So the boys in race control will be busy. They won't be watching the race at all.
Dan, just take it easy, bud. Take it early. Get back on it. Get on the groove. You'll be fine. Oh, easy.
Yep. And there he goes. So Dan's just serving his drive through there. He'll just go through, no penalty. He's just going to come out. He should be in 10th as a result of that, and then just head down and go from there. And lap 3 with 99, 64 was just cleared as no further action. So there we go. 64 is carrying that drive through. Dan, head down, man. I got your back. You know, it's a long way to go. This stuff happens with all of us, and that was, a tough one. It was a turn 1, lap 1. Cars side by side. Tough one to take, but you got to serve it, right? It's a driver thing. You got to serve it. So. Head down, get in there. Long way to go.
They're racers, man. They'll get in. They'll have a crack at it. They won't let this get to them. Look at this drive here. Bradley Wall, P3 in the Now, we just spoke about this before the start of the race, Pete. With Bradley Wall, right? Ray Oliver now down in P8. Brad Wall in P3. This is going to mix up their championship a lot if they finish in these current positions. But we know this is Sandown. These are supercars. Anything can happen. So we need to be watching a bit of Ray Oliver tonight and see where he can pull himself back. Tim Nicol is still out the front. He's up there. He's got a good gap. I think Brock's just settled into a nice groove now. I think the boys are just going to cycle through their little window and
I think I'm
push on.
Yeah. I'm going to keep an eye on Ray through the night. I'll keep my screen on Ray through the night as we go through the different cars on the broadcast, because he's cleared the sinker and he's made that gap up to Rob Visser really quickly, right, within a couple of laps. So Ray certainly has the speed, but Sandown, it's not easy to overtake. It's not a track where you can overtake under brakes. It's a track where you've got to come out of corners better. So Ray's really got to think hard. Is he going to get it? Well, not just yet, right? And this is the thing, right? Rob's right on the inside. He's got corner rights. I think Rob's... Oh, there you go. And Ray's made a little bit of a mistake. And that's going to hurt him in the long run. Rob Visser has got that run, and Ray's... Oh, that's going to hurt Ray. That's what I mean. So...
That gets a big sinker again.
And and Ray's now got to fight off the big sinker again. So, what's he got to do? From my perspective, Ray's just got to settle his head here, and he made a mistake there trying to just take it under brakes. That was really well done by both of them, wasn't it?
He just gave the old Steven Sinkovic. He just guided him out there. He's like, no, mate, out there, keep going.
Now, I remind you, Ray, the big sinker is an admin there, so I only do it once in a race. I think you get that once a week, right? So, but look, Ray made that mistake, and for me, he was doing exactly what I said not to do. He was trying to get him under brakes, and what he should have done, even though Rob made that mistake coming out of Dandenong, Ray needed to just slot in and come out of turn 12 faster and get the overlap.
Stinker onto the grass and back on the grass and off the grass and back on the grass.
The big sinker.
He's done it, and here comes Daniel Schultz. So this is going to put Stephen back between Schultz and Pavlovich now. So Pete Pavlovich is still way back up there, mate. So he's in recovery mode right now. He's really in recovery drive. Pete Pavlovich. He's a long way back.
Yeah, but he's done a pit stop. So not enough to save him from a pit stop, but he has done a pit stop. So he is a long way back. He might have. Do they have a fast repair in this, Rob? Do you know?
I can't confirm or deny that. I think they might have, so it might be a damaged one that he's had there. So I'll have to see what happens. But yeah, the boys are just starting to spread out now. I mean, we go our blimp cam, we can see there's no one around anywhere at the moment. Like they're all nicely laid out. Like Ray Oliver there and Rob Visser there. So we see they're probably the closest two on circuit right now.
They're all spread out. But the story still for me is Ray Oliver being smart. I still think we've still got 46 minutes to go, 47 minutes to go in this race. That's a lot of time in a 1 minute lap, right? So, and particularly with only 7 cars. And where's Ray? Ray's coming out of one now. He's only half a lap behind. Can he get onto the podium? I think Ray's got the speed there to mix it up with Brad, and he needs to do that for the championship. I think
he's up 2 spots. So even with all this drama, he's still climbing spots.
And he's still making time. But the issue for Ray is not so much his speed. The issue for Ray is getting past Rob Visser and Cal Hodgson and the big bus driver, Brett Taylor, right? So, that's going to be the thing where Ray really needs to think, when do I take his pit stop? But, I was just watching him there. Ray's just overshot Daniel again, so not doing himself any favours.
But Cowie must have had a drive-through as well. Left pit lane, he's done a 20-second drive-through, so he's been in the pit lane, he's trundled through, so he must have got a penalty for that whack down there at Dandenong that he put on the side door of Ray Oliver. So that's unfortunate. That's put Cowie now down a lap. So that's going to be really hard to get that back, isn't it?
It is. That is tough to get back when you're a lap down, and he's just behind P1 and 2. And Tim and Brock aren't going to slow down for Cowie. I'll give you that, Tim.
Yeah, no, that's right. They're forward eyes, mate.
Yeah, that's right. So, but Cowie can sit in there, and and maybe with luck and a pit cycle and a safety car, who knows, right? That's why you always got to stay in these races. But black flag there for Cowie from an incident, and I noticed that on YouTube there, Leakey's just said that the big sinker beats Leakey. So we got a 3-way battle if I join the championship.
Well, I don't want to hear it if I join the championship. I want to hear confirmation by the end of tonight whether you're coming to race these things next season. Because you know what? I can't race this because this is my production night, but I would, if I wasn't on production, I would get out there with you 3 boys and we would have a ding-dong battle at the back, because I reckon Greggy Lee can beat me, for crying out loud.
Probably in a supercar, mate. I'll be hard pushed to Greg Leakey. And given that I've given the big sinker a hard time over 3 weeks, mate, he's not going to give me any breaks on the track. I'll give you that tip.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's there, but look, I mean, this is a good little series. I mean, it's all about the AM stuff, and look, these guys put on a good spectacle. Sure, there's a couple of drivers. We see Tim Nicol and Brock Monteshead that maybe just start to stretch their legs a little bit. Maybe look towards a promotion like we saw with Dylan Gray. But again, the competition's fierce. I mean, everyone out there at the moment is in their own little window. They've got their own little setup they can run and get out there and just focus on what they're doing. So, see Ray Oliver still pushing this gap to Rob Visser here, but again, we just need to settle in, boys. We just need to settle in. We're only on lap 15. The pit stop's going to start flying soon. Opportunities are coming.
And mate, let's talk about the SRW Am Series, right? The aliens are excluded. We kicked out the young Dylan because he was just way too fast, right? If someone goes, I'm just an Am, right, and comes in and wins by 20 seconds, they don't stay. So the good thing for let's call us, let's be nice, let's call us all developing drivers. The good thing for developing drivers, okay, Rob, I'd let you say, okay, Pete,
Schultze.
What do we got?
Schultze went off wide just in front of Sinkovic here, so it's really brought him back into it. Oh, and Sinkovic is going to jump the curbs and
Go in sympathy.
Dukes of Hazzard stuff. Anyway, back to what you were saying, Pete.
I was going to say, I'll call it, us developing drivers, but to be frank, mate, I'm a 50-year-old man, so, I'm just an old grey-headed bloke, and, us developing those developing old drivers and us old farts that want to drive but will never be alien speed, this is a great series to come and do it, right? And SRW provides an opportunity for everybody in the sim racing world to come and enjoy leagues at what could be considered a beginner status, and you don't have to race people that have been to leagues for 10 years in a row.
That's right.
And it's a friendly environment, and the worst thing you might get is somebody calling you a bus, for example, but at the end of the day, the camaraderie is good, the Discord's enjoyable, there's a little bit of tit for tat, there's a little bit of aggressive driving sometimes, but in the Am Series, have a look at this race tonight. It's not really, but boot to bonnet battling the whole time, because the developing drivers, all developing skills and getting a little bit faster, have all got their own demons and their own skills that they've got to deal with in the race. So anybody out there who is not an alien and you're not going to be in the pro splits or the split ones or whatever they call them, or the Scops and the Logitech series, there's SRW provides an opportunity for us humans to get in and have a go. So
we're seeing Brock Motteshead and Bradley Wall. Sorry to cut you off there, mate. Two of the front runners are in the pit lane, but I was trying not to laugh there in the middle of that, because Greg Leake just come in, he goes, lol, 50 isn't old, I'm that old I fart dust. Greg Leake just bringing the comedy into the channel tonight. So Leakey, love having you around, mate. It's always good to have these little battles with you on track. I know we've had a couple in the Saturday nights, and we certainly missed you last Saturday night, mate, but health and stuff got to come first, mate. So no, but you did right, Pete. This series does offer that exact equivalent of, the Super 2 category in IRL. They're not the top level dogs. They're not quite as fast. But you know what? They get in, they have a dig, and they put on a good show, and they love what they do. And I think that's what this shows, is these boys and girls, obviously, because we've got girls throughout the SRW League as well. They love what they do, so they enjoy it a lot more. And, you get some really good battles when you really start enjoying who you're racing with, who you're racing against. And you know who you race against. Like, you know the consistency. Like, if, you're coming up on Steven, he's going to spin, so all you got to do is just stay there, and he'll crash and you'll get off. So, you know what I mean? Like, you understand that, you know certain drivers, so it's been a lot of fun.
Now, talking about that, has Ray Oliver listened to me, mate? Is he going to take a 10? Is he going to have a go? He's got a little bit of run, a little bit of draft here on Rob Visser. This is the first one he needs to. He's got to make this successful. Rob's turned down on him there and held up. Both of them have lost out of that.
No.
That'd be a fair call to race control. I don't know if it hasn't been called in yet, but I wasn't a fan of that. I think there's could have been more room provided from my perspective from Rob there. I think he's cost Ray a bit of a position.
Let's have a look. I mean, we'll see what happens here. So he makes the move early. He shows Rob he's there.
He's had a good look. Yeah. So Rob's got to know he's there. On the brakes.
Rob's got to turn in
somewhere. He hasn't overshot it, unlock
it.
He's on the apex. I think Rob's turned in a little bit too hard there, and Ray had a right to be there. But, look, they didn't call it into race control, so he's got him now and race on.
I think Rob might have just redressed that and just said, look, I was probably out of spot there or whatever, and just pulled that in. So interesting that Tim Nicol hasn't pitted yet, even though Brock Motteshead has. So Brock may be shooting for that undercut we were talking about earlier, trying to get Tim to react here. So where is Tim? Tim's here. Here he comes now. There we go. Right on
lap
cue.
19. Right on lap 2, mate. Lap 19, the last lap for the fuel numbers. Rob Visser pitted straight after that too. So this will be interesting to see where Tim comes out. I think Brock having some clean air and fresh tyres. Look, I can't tell. I'm going to be guessing, but will he get him? Oh, we don't know. But the interesting thing for me is after pit stops, Brett Taylor's out in front of Brock, is he?
Don't know. We'll have to see. No, Brock's out. Brett Taylor's back in P6. So let's see where Brock meets Tim. Tim's coming out now. Brock's going to have the run here. That was Cullen Hodgkinson peeling off. There's Brock. There's Tim Nicol just there in the pit lane. You can just see him, so he's going to have...
So Brock's got him?
Oh, no, not yet. No, he's still just behind. There he is there on screen.
Oh, yeah, no, Brock hasn't got him yet. But that was an early pit stop for Brock, though. 16 laps. I fear that might be too early.
You're Ray Oliver and Cullen Hodgkinson now in the pit lane, so that brings Bradley Wall back to P3. Brett Taylor way back down there, so he may have lost out on that pit stop run. But looking there, Brad Wall only didn't... Okay, so looking at the numbers now, Brad Wall took 18.72 pit stop time. Brock Montesed was an 18.52. Tim Nicol was a 21.6 and Brett Taylor was a 20.33. So there's a bit of difference in the pit stop strategy there. So early pit stops may be playing a short undercut. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would be going a short undercut for position with such few drivers on the track. I think this is a classic race just to drive out your fuel tank and go. Unless you're stuck up behind the car for lap after lap. But if Brock, for example, was stuck right up behind Tim, and he had a chance to go in an undercut, I think that was right. But they weren't close enough for that. So. I was really surprised to see Brock come in when he did, but that small, I think it was a 3-lap window that the fuel strategy night prior. I think Brock's burnt his, whereas Tim still has his up his sleeve. So Brock's almost now on almost a mandatory I've got to pit on a certain lap to get home cycle, which is not necessarily the best to be. He hasn't got the flexibility left, even though he's still in second. But, let's go back to the championship, mate. Does it really matter if Brock wins tonight?
Well, I mean, for his own championship, obviously he'd want to maximise the points. But overall, I don't think he really needs to press on with it. I think a P2 would be a solid for him. Bradley Wall here on the screen, P3. He's had an absolute cracking run tonight. Absolutely no questions to ask about that man. He has done brilliantly out here tonight.
And he is sitting nicely in third. But my point is, Brock doesn't need to race Tim tonight, unless he really wants to win, because Brock's racing Ray and he's racing Brad.
That's right.
So he's got lots of positions over Ray, so he's going to get points there.
Yep.
And he's ahead of Brad, so he's going to extend his championship lead there with a couple of rounds to go. So, a win is not mandatory. But if you think in championship, he's got a lovely position and gap here now, and he really doesn't need to pressure Tim, does he?
No, he doesn't need to put any pressure on Tim. And look, like we said, Tim's in P10 in the championship, so he doesn't really rate at the top of the championship right now. So this, like we said, would be the cat amongst the pigeons. He's just there. He could just pick away and just, stir up the leaderboard a little bit tonight. But yeah, he's definitely... I don't think Brock's really going to put the pressure on him. I don't think there's any need to. Coming in, like I said, you got Ray Oliver, Brad Wall, and Brock Montesed. So, Tim Nicol, if he can get a win here tonight, would definitely help his championship. But I think it's just a little too late in the season for him to actually capitalise on that and make anything really worthy. But no, good drive though. He's been out the front. He's led from the start and. Putting in the lap times, 107.43. Brock Montesed, though, 107.29. And Bradley Wall, 107.93. So, it's, the boys are putting in the lap times up the front there. The top three are really doing well.
But I'll put if Brock's listening, I'll put the wind up him now because there's still drop rounds to be considered, right? So, if Tim has, P1, 2s and 3s for this and the last two rounds, and there's drop rounds considered, that actually puts Tim in a much better position in the championship than what he's currently sitting in P10. So, and we can't do those calcs on the fly. So, so Brock listening, mate, it's up to you. Do you settle in and extend your current lead? Or do you think, hey, drop rounds, I might have a bit of pressure here. I do need to race Tim. I just want to win.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. I guess that's drivers, mate. You know, once the helmet comes on, you know, they're
Well,
all
drivers
there.
don't think about strategy, do they?
No, they just drive it fast and hard. So we see Cowie, mate, back here. He's just got past Steven Sinkovic. He's down 6 spots, so he's had an absolute shocker tonight already. But he's on the callback, so he's now 2 seconds off the back of Schultz, who you can see now literally on the back of Peter Pavlovich. So these pit stops are starting to just pull things back in line again. But look at Brett Taylor, up 3 spots tonight in a P4. So he's jumped over you know, a few of the boys there. Ray Oliver also up 3 spots now. So Pete, check Discord. Jamie Dyke sent you something.
Has he?
He's obviously being funny. So it's yeah. So Rob Visser, Ray Oliver, and Brett Taylor are movers and shakers. Biggest loser so far is Andrew Cowan down 6 spots, and Daniel Schultz down 4. So unfortunately, not a great start to the night for those boys. And you know, they're just going to call back, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll get back on pace again and get back on track. But just awfully tough around here, as you said, Pete, to make these passes happen, because the track isn't conducive to braking passes or, you know, the acceleration passes. You really got to get a better exit, get the run and the overlap before you get to the next corner.
Absolutely, you got to think about an overtake here, and you got to find it, and you've got to create it. You don't just force it, and because of the nature of the tight turns, you know, of trying to force it, and we've seen what happens tonight. You know, cars make contact, they go off, and both lose time. So that's the really tough bit. Now, yeah, a bit of input here from Jamie from the Fishy Boy. We don't have any fishy cars in this race, so he's claiming that Brock has 15 positions worth of points ahead of Ray. So Jamie's claiming there that Brock's pretty safe ahead of Ray. But it's really it's really about Tim. Or maybe he meant Tim, but you know, that's a big gap. That excludes drop rounds though. But like I said, that's the application of drop rounds is something we can't really do on the run. So
I was going to say,
yeah,
there's only what, just under 100 points within first and second. I can't see that being 15 places. That would have to be Brock to Tim would be a 15 place thing. So yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Brock's P1 the championship, and Tim's P10 at the moment. Oh, Cowie, what are you doing? Not there, buddy, not there.
All right, so now Cowie's a driver. Listen to us. Listen, Cowie.
Oh, what's he done?
Take your time, Cowie. Give him room. Give him room.
Oh no, so 6.
Hasn't made it yet. Cowie and these two drivers both got a drive-through penalty, remember, from an incident on turn 1, lap 1. So they're going to be at each other, and they are both fighting hard side by side. Cowie's hit the apex there. Now, Cowie's got the inside coming down the run down to turn 1, but Dan Schultz has got the run. He's certainly got the run. There's no overlap for Cowie. Dan's taking a little bit of a defensive mover on the inside. Can Cowie come out if that's faster? He's going to come out faster, but Dan's still on the right side for the little chicane through 2 and 3. Side by side. It's a horrible place to go side by side. Oh, that's a big move from Cowie there in through turn 4. Can he hold on to it? Yeah, he can hold on to it. I got to tell you, mate, that is gutsy driving from Cowie.
Yeah, absolutely. And is that Bradley? That's Bradley Wall catch up to the back of these boys. So that's Bradley Wall pushing on the back of these boys.
But remember, that's Bradley Wall in P3, and these two guys are a lap down. So they're both going to get a blue flag to Brad very shortly. And this is, you know, stay on this, mate, because it'll be interesting to see, because Dan and Cowie are going to have their minds on each other after the drive-throughs.
Dan's gone.
Right.
Dan just lost it on the curb.
Right, but at the same time, they've got to lift and let Bradley through, because they're going to be seeing the blue flags. Blue flags have requirements.
That's right, they sure do. So Jamie, in the chat there, Brock has 87-point advantage, so say 14 positions excluding drop rounds.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, Brock's he's certainly in a good position. I don't have to say that. Let me go, Jamie. I'm trying to talk it up and put some pressure on the little bugger, right? You can't think with two and a half rounds to go that you got the championship wrapped up. You can't think that, not with drop rounds.
They're race drivers, Jamie. Come on. You got to make it take to the last lap of the last race before you give them the victory, mate.
Yeah, don't let maths get in the way of good stories.
Jamie Dyke, always with the spoilers. No, he's, good to have you in the chat, Jamie. Good to have your input, mate. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, and hell of a race brain from Jamie, so it's good to have him around in SRW too. Yeah, thanks for your input, mate. I really appreciate it. All good fun.
So, watching these boys, mate, Ray Oliver's just starting to put a little bit more heat to the back of Callan. Helmet on, brains off by Greg Leake. Leakey coming in. I was going to say, who are we talking about? Is that the commentators or the actual guys on track there, Leakey? Because, oh, mate, that's a good call. That's fantastic. Oh, who's that? Oh, Callan just locked up. They're giving Ray the spot.
Callan's just let that go. See, there's that second out of 3 spots that Ray needs to put the pressure on the lead group. So Ray's now going to come up against his famous bus quote. Oh, mate, we got to keep an eye on this one because he's got a fair way to go, right? He's got to be gap to catch him. I'll tell you what, I'm going to defend Brett. I don't put Brett in that category, but but he's so fearless driver and does what he does well.
Maybe we need to get some,
a bit unfair.
But maybe we need to get some input from Jamie Dyke whether Brett Taylor on screen now is a bus. If you've ever raced him.
Where's the Valve Motorsport team? Where's the rest of the team? Because I know Brett's got a couple other drivers in his team, so
leaving him out to drive.
Yeah, lagging him out to drive. Maybe they'll jump in and say, "Oh no, he is a bus. He loves to drive out like that." But look, he's out there. He's got a nice big gap. Ray's got to hunt him down, right? So the pressure's not on Brett here. The pressure is on Ray still.
Jamie in the chat, he's like, "No, mate, I'm the bus driver."
Oh no, I can't say that a fishy motorsports guy is a bus driver. No, I've got lots of other analogies for those guys.
If you're a bus driver, Jamie Dyke, you must be one of the fastest on the planet, Christ. Because I've watched you race, mate. You are far from a bus driver. You just Steve Zinovich.
Oh, Steve, where is? Can we go to the big sinker? We've got the big sinker stuck on the wall there. Well, let's bring out a safety car. Rob. And this has changed the complexion of the race. 25 minutes to go. There it is. Safety car has
there we go.
Just been called. No. What are you doing, Rob? P1 and 2 have gone round. P4, you've got to go into the pits. You must go in the pits. You must go in the pits. We got
Brett Taylor's
25 minutes to go.
Is that Brad Walling? No, that was Dan Schultz. Dan Schultz is in. Brad Wall and the boys have gone past, mate. They're already past on that lap.
That's all right. So they just stay on race pace, but as long as the cars in front of them don't slow down too much.
I'm trying to get through the night. Come on.
Oh, no. The big sinker. No, he's stuck on a reef, mate. That is a cracking little snag.
He's anchored, mate. He's anchored.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
No, that ain't an anchor, mate. He's stuck on the reef. Someone's there jagging to get him out. They'll get the tow truck out and pull him out shortly. Get him the tow. But no, P1 and 2 will come into the pits. Yeah, they're all coming in the pits now. If they haven't been held up, it shouldn't hold up too much. But what it's going to do is... Mate.
What's happened to Sinker? Oh, he's caught the grass. No? I reckon he's gone shallow here. Oh, no, he's gone deep. Oh, way deep.
Oh, he's just missed the brakes.
What?
He's given a good shot, hasn't he? He's tried to make a shot. He's probably got a time play too.
Hey,
I think it's up to Dandenong, mate. That's not it.
Is it up here?
Yeah. So he's coming off Dandenong.
No, it must be further up. He's had 3 or 4 in the one spot.
There we go. So there it is. Yep, he's just come off the curb. That's not the one he gets stuck
at, though, because he's down at turn 1. So it must be this one.
Oh, he has been bouncing off the bottom of the coral reef and he's just eventually got caught, mate. That's what it's like. When I go out fishing, it's like losing sinkers all the time, right? You just go bang, 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 getting caught.
Oh, here it
He
is.
said straight away.
Here's the spot. So he's coming to turn 1. He's already damaged. And I reckon he's going to hit that grass on the outside or the curb. The curb.
No, the curb.
And he's just going to go bang in the fence and it's just going to suck him in there. Yep. It just, look at that. Sucked him into the fence.
Yeah. And that's you get that a lot in practice when you try here and you just try and push that curb a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's just caught him. But once those curbs catch you, mate, in these cars, they don't let you out, eh?
No, that's right. No, 100% they do not let you out.
Who's got the advantage, mate?
Oh, mate. 2 stops already. For 22 minutes. Oh, mate.
Mate, I reckon they're close to fueling to the end with a little bit of fuel management. But look out for Ray Oliver. That gap that he needed to close, he is just closed.
From this position, I think this position now after a safety car, this is Brock Mottershead. This is his chance. This is his chance to really pile the pressure on cold tyres because the tyre's going to cool off a lot right now. I think he can really put the pressure on Tim Nicol if he gets the jump, if he gets the restart working. But let's not discount Brett Taylor either. Sitting there right behind Brad Wall. Let's not discount him, mate. He's up 3 spots. Ray Oliver is going to be up 4 spots, so he'll be P5. So
I've been watching Ray catch up to the safety car here, and I tell you, from at the top of the hill on the back straight all the way down to Dandenong, Ray's held the clutch in and he's fuel saving. He is doing everything he can to save every bit of fuel here. So these guys are on the limit.
Well, he only took a 15 or nearly 16-second stop that time round. So he took a very, very, very short stop.
So has he light fuel? Has he light fuel to try and get a little bit of advantage?
Jamie Dyke sending me stuff in Discord. Oh no, dub since 2020. I don't know if you've seen this, mate. I gotta send this to you. This is classic. This is classic. You've probably seen it somewhere down the traps for sure, but
I sent it to me as well.
Oh, mate. Well,
any chance you can get that on the broadcast drop?
Not really.
All right.
Not really. I probably could, but yeah, we probably shouldn't. So
what have we got going on now, mate? Yeah, the big sinker's got his wave round. So he's been given a wave round to get around. He's going to get out of the way. And we've got Tim Nicol leading Brock Mottershead, followed by Brad Wall and Brett Taylor. Ray Oliver's caught up. He had a 20-second gap. He's caught that up. Safety car's going to do one more lap. So we've got a bit of time here before the restart. And that gives the big sinker a chance to catch up as well, mate. Get him back in the race, right? Come on, Steve. Rob Visser, Cal Hodgson, and look, Cowie, Pete Pavlich and Dan Schultz are all fast guys, P8, 9 and 10, and with the safety car, look where they are now, mate. They're right up on the back of Cal Hodgkin and Rob Visser, so a little bit more pressure to go, and I think it's going to be interesting.
Jamie Dyke just giving us an update. He said if positions stay the same, Ray and Brad will be separated by 4 points going into the last 2 rounds. 4 points.
I'm going to call it. My call is I think Ray will get Brett, and I think Ray and Brad will have a ding-dong battle for P3 in the podium. And I'm going to call that part of the race. Whether Brock, I don't know whether Brock's really going to challenge Tim or not. He might just settle in there, but Brad, I don't think he's going to have much of a choice because Brad won't let Brock settle at all.
Not at all.
But yeah, so that's That's my prediction for the race. I could be completely wrong, right? Which we can be, we're commentators, and it could be a curse on the drivers, as we know. Safety cars away. Over to you, Rob. Let's get the race started.
Yeah, we're going to go live again. Once they get the call from race control, the safety car does need to enter pit lane and be clear of the racetrack, and then it'll be green flags again. We watch Tim Nicol here as he leads them up the back straight, and I think we just saw Steven Sinkovic go down the top of the screen. But that's all right. So as we get started, we've got Tim Nicol, Brock Monteshead, Bradley Wall, Brett Taylor, Ray Oliver, Rob Visser, Callum Hodgkinson, Andrew Cowan, Daniel Schultz, and Peter Pavlovich. Steven Sinkovic is back way down there. He is at the top of the screen, the white car. So Field's waiting on Tim to get the green flags to go.
Fully caught up. Everyone's fully caught up, and away we go.
Just waiting on Tim. Where do you start? Where do you go? Come on, Tim.
Oh, you go on one of these apexes, mate, because when all the other cars are held up a bit slow in the corner.
Green flag's been
and that's
called,
exactly where it goes.
There he goes, yep.
Yep, right on the apex of the last turn.
Oh, Bradley Wall.
Best part to go.
Bradley Wall was looking Little's racy off the start there, but yeah, no passing for the control line, otherwise it's a penalty. So let's just see how these boys go now. They're all bunched back up.
Now, who's got the patience to take 5 or 10 minutes to get the position?
Well,
which we didn't see at the start of the race.
Do they really have time to take 5 minutes? I mean, it was only 16 minutes left to go in the race, so
they got 5 minutes. Yeah, they got 3 or 4 laps to find that spot. Ray Oliver is right on the back of Brett Taylor there. This is going to be interesting. Ray will have a nice bit of draft coming out of turn 4 up through the back straight. And they're not there, Ray. Not there.
Yeah,
not there.
Not there.
No.
But let's not count Rob Visser on the back of this group either, mate. So he's been racy all night. He's had a bit of pace. Probably not the pace of the front guys, but not too bad. There's Cowie on the back of Callum Hodgkinson as well. So again, not all that bad.
No, absolutely. And Ray's just got to get right into the back of Brett here. And Ray was the man who nicknamed Brett the bus. So, Ray's got to get right into the back here. And, Brett's a pretty cool character. But I think Ray's got an opportunity to get right up the back, put him under pressure, and see if he'll crack. So, he's not quite taken the full racing line. A little bit of defence there. Not over. I've seen far worse, but it's slowing Ray down. And Rob Visser's in the game as well.
Yeah, so, look, let's not count out the fact too that, as we said, Ray Oliver is in this championship. Does he need to press on? Does he need the positions? Can he get it next week? Can he get it in the final week? Does he need to commit now and risk ruining his race with only 15 minutes left to go in the race?
Well, you can see that Ray's a little bit faster. You can see that he's hitting the apexes and he's getting better exits, but it's not yet enough to make a position.
Yeah, we just went off track there. We'll have a flick through that, see what happened. Looks like he's just been caught out in the braking zone here, coming down into Dandy Dong. But look at that, and he's gone the inside. Oh, and he's skated through.
Oh, I tell you, I'll give Cowie some points there because I think he's dodged the contact. I think Cowie knew he was in trouble, but he managed to dodge the contact. So, if you do anything, you hurt yourself and don't hurt anybody else. So that's good sportsmanship from Cowie, even though it cost him a spot or two.
Yeah, look at this, mate. So these top 3 have just pulled away. The back there with Bradley Wall. Rob Visser's had a crash as well, according to SDK. So he's dropped a couple of spots now. But these front 3 have just bolted right now. So the battle is definitely back here. This is where it's going to be here. I don't think we'll see a change. Look up at the top of the screen. That's Cowie. That's Schultzy and Colin Hodgkinson up in that little battle pack right here. Oh, we've seen. Oh no, Peter Pavlovich. Oh no, Pavlovich has just sent him. Oh no.
There's heaps of trouble. So Pavlovich, Dean, Schultz, Cowie, Cal Hodgkinson, all in a 4-way battle coming out of Dandenong car contact, cars spilling themselves into the fence, and the call to race control. Well, this ain't over. And did that car get going again? it got going
Yeah,
again,
he
which
did,
means we're
he
not
got-
up for a
he got in the
safety
pit
car.
lane. He got in the pit lane, yeah.
Somebody might be in trouble. Is the KFC car going for a cool down?
Oh, I don't know, man. I think there was a little bit to play in that from both parties. I'm not sure. I mean, we can flick back to it and go and have a look. We've got the we got Jamie Dyke in the room as well. So we see Cowie run wide, bang there. So then Schultz tries to get back on track. He's still there. Pavlovich just around the outside. He just swooped around there, and then what's happened here? He's just I don't know what's happened there, mate. Like it's just.
Oh. That looks like a bit of netcode there, mate, that's brought the cars together. I think, you know, the cars didn't look like they were going sideways across the track. Pete certainly had a right to be there. He had a right to have a go and get down that lane.
I think he's just turned because that apex is there.
Yeah, or did he touch the grass, mate? Did his car just touch the grass of the apex? Oh, look, I don't want to be race control tonight, and I'm glad I'm not, to be honest.
But they've got that incident with Cowie too at the Dandenong Road there. So that's, is that going to offset Cowie's race? Is that going to put Cowie back and into another pit stop? Oh.
Now, we've missed, Ray Oliver has got Brett Taylor. So
he has.
Ray's moved up to P3.
So he's done it into one, so he's pushed him.
Got a better run. Yep, just got a better run out of the final turn. Pushed him all the way. And I think it looks like Brett's just made a smart move. He's just lifted out of it, tucked in behind him, and let him go. I think the call of a bus is a bit unfair on Brett, but hey, look, man, be a truck with a skirt for a night. That's all cool.
Oh, Cowie just locked the rear. Sorry, mate. Oh, that was risky there. Cowie just lost the rear on the back of on that entry coming over through Dandenong there, so it was a bit awkward.
Cowie's pushing hard, mate. I think Cowie's trying a little bit too hard. He probably could have. He's cost himself a little bit of result by trying a little bit too hard tonight. So, just by the way, I'm reading the way he's driving the car. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Looks like Daniel Schultz, sadly, with that damage to the car, with only 15 minutes to go, has had to call it quits at that point. So, sadly, that's gone on. What has gone on here? Because Bradley Wall has almost fallen to the clutches of Ray Oliver.
Wow, did Brad make a mistake? He must have
made a mistake. Yeah, he was well up there. So no further.
No, we just heard a little bit of pause there from race control. So race control have caught all of that action, racing incidents. So no fault, no discernible fault to any one driver, which I think is fair, right? There's probably a little bit from everybody involved in that.
That's right.
When there's a little bit of everybody, it's a racing incident. So that's part of that race control decision-making process. So tough gig, but I think they're out there. Fair call. But let's get on this race. Well, we got under 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Our man Ray Oliver, that I've been on all race. So he's come from P8, was it? He started P7, P8. He's now up into P4. This is the bit that he needed to get up to, because he is fighting Brad Wall for P2 and P3 in the championship, and now they are P3 and P4 on track. So Ray won't give Brad any leeway here. He's going to get right under the wing of Brad, and he's going to give him every bit of pressure. Does he make a move, or does he see if Brad makes a mistake, Rob? What do you think?
Oh, mate, look, the last thing you want to do is put pressure on you, like in a point where you put pressure on yourself and your competitor. So he won't be trying to pile it on and risk his race as well as Brad's. But I definitely think he's going to be putting the blowtorch on the back of that car. But I guess we'll just see how cool Brad is under pressure here right now, because he did make that little mistake there at just in Dandenong there, or just coming into that final sector. So he'll be a little bit gun shy going back through there. He won't want to run too wide again, because he knows Ray Oliver's only less than a second behind him, so that'll be an automatic loss of spot. So he won't want to have that. So yeah, he might be a little bit gun shy going down through there again, but no, I think Brad will be capable for the next 8 minutes to just stay there. Ray Oliver hasn't made gap, he hasn't pulled that gap in. And we've sort of seen with Ray, if he gets too much under the draft, you lose a little bit of that front end and push us a little bit wide. So, look, let's just see what he does.
A bit of a seesaw, and we've also got Cowie putting the pressure on Cal Hodgson there for 7 and 8. They're the two closest battles at the moment, with about just under 10 minutes to go. Mate, I think, you know, from what I've seen from Ray tonight, I don't think Ray's going to have patience. I think if he gets a chance, he's going for it. And I think Brad's real challenge is to not give Ray that opportunity to have a chance. He's just got to stay half a second or more in front so he doesn't give Ray the look in to have a go. But I've got to say, Jamie Dyke has put on that we've made some epic scaife quotes tonight. Now, I'm not sure whether that comes from, whether that's you or me, but I tell you what, there's one thing I'll never talk about. I'll never talk about UV affecting the track, Jamie, and that's the one thing I don't like about scaife. So if I've used some other epic scaife quote, then I sincerely apologise. We'll stick with track temperature and the dynamics and friction of rubber and bitumen. But yeah.
Just looking into next week, Pete. These boys are going to Alton Park next week. Supercars around Alton Park, it's not very wide, is it? Not very catered to big conducive passes like we see sort of Bathurst and stuff like that, is it? So if these boys are tight come next week, it's going to make the racing just that much more exciting, isn't it?
Well, Alton Park's a bit of a goat track for, you know, most of the circuit. There is a couple of spots where if you're going to run, Ray's just still putting the pressure on Brad, but Brad's holding that gap that he needs to so Ray doesn't get a dive. So I'm just watching this one closely. But yeah, Alton Park, bit of a goat track. A couple of spots, but again, you've got to be careful. You've got to get a good run out of corners, and there are a couple of overtaking spots. So it's not all over, but there are some places where, as a goat track, it's one lane. It's one racing lane and there's no chance. So that's the sort of track where if you don't do well in the shootout, you've got to be patient through the circuit before you really give it a go, right? Whereas Sandown, if you have a look at a corner, have a look and go, right? But Alton Park, and that's the last one. Bathurst. They've got a classic Bathurst. You know, what person doesn't buy a supercar and iRacing in Bathurst and have a go as their first thing?
Just had word that Andrew Cowan and Callum Hodgkinson have crashed here. What's gone on? That's dropped Cowie back to P8. Now, Callum's actually in front, so I'm not really sure. This has been Cowie's trouble spot all night. All night. He struggled in this part of the circuit. Look, there goes the back of the car.
I've been there, done that, Cowie. That is just a self-mistake.
Callum's had nowhere to go.
Nothing for Callum to do. Really unfortunate for Callan. It's held him up a bit. It's probably going to cost him a little bit of time. I don't think it's going to cost him any more positions, but just a self mistake from Cowie there. Yeah, I think nearly everybody that's driven down in on corner has done that. You just go a little bit later, a little bit deeper, and turn the car in, and it spins around on you, which is the nature of these cars. So that's Cowie pushing hard, mate.
That's right. And Dykey's just given us a quick UV update for next week at Alton Park. He said there's not much at Alton Park either, so won't be talking about UV there either next week. So thanks for that, Dykey. Appreciate it, mate.
Hey, I've got to bring the scientists out of me. We've got 5 minutes. UV is a wavelength. UV is not associated with grip from my scientific perspective, and should have nothing to do ever be spoken about in terms of how much grip a car has. Grip is related to temperature and surface.
Exactly.
Now that's the
right.
scientist coming out of me, and that's the anti-scaife coming out of me as well. But anyway, now you might know, you get an insight into Pete Baxter watching supercars on the weekend with some bloke named Mark Scaife talking. Now, back on the track, Brad Wall has just had a little bit of a spin coming out of turn 4, which is going to give Ray Oliver a sniff. We got, what do we got? Just over 4 minutes to go. So we're looking at about 4 laps at least to go. This is the closest sniff I think Ray's going to have to actually get the position, and this is the most precious Brad's going to be facing all night.
Oh, Brad's just starting. Those tyres are coming off. I think we're seeing Brock Monteshead just throw the white flag up and be happy with the P2, but I'm not quite sure that... This
There's no white
isn't
flag
settled.
from Brad Wall.
This is not laid down yet, boys and girls. This is going to go right to the last lap. This is crazy battling. Rayola is just going to pile this on.
He is. And look, Brad, he's already influenced Brad. Brad's taken massive defensive moves. So Ray's right in his mind now, and he's done what he has to do. The first thing is to get in the mind of the driver ahead of you. The next thing he's got to do is stay there. The third thing he's got to do is get past him when a mistake happens. Stay there, Ray. Keep it on, Brad. Keep it on. You've got more things going on than you've had all race. Can he hold it on, Rob? It's good to see Brad under pressure.
Half a second, mate. Gap with just under 3 minutes.
No, that's right. And for the next 3 laps, Brad Wall is no longer an SOW admin. He's a driver under pressure, and we love it.
I'm sure he'll love to hear that he's no longer an admin for 3 minutes of the race.
Just the 3 minutes. Admin will be the last thing he's thinking about right now. He is defending hard. He's still hitting his apexes, and he's got a great run out onto the straight, so he should be good for this lap. And just Ray Oliver's just lost the rear end a little bit. He's dropped back, so Brad's just got a little bit of safety now.
I'll give you the hot tip. I'll get a message in the morning from Brad saying, "Hey, good call last night, but you need to tell that bloke in the com box to shut up and not say I'm admin." Brad, it's not me, mate. It's not me. It's Pete. Honestly, it is.
No. We're talking about the big sinker, aren't we?
No, Brad gets up in the morning and he watches these, and then he gives me the old, "Hey man, that was a great call last night. Really love the energy around the car and stuff like that." So it's it's a lot of fun. But there's another battle going on back here that we've just been buying off for the last couple of laps. Peter Pavlovich getting on the back of Brett Taylor here. So see Brett Taylor doing some zigzag and Pete Pavlovich trying to break that toe. But this isn't over either, Pete.
No,
maybe it is there though. Yeah. That might be over now, but
But again, Pete's not a slow driver, right? And I'm not saying Brett's a slow driver. Brett's a steady driver, and Pete's probably a little bit faster. But can he overtake, right? And again, Brett's just hitting his markers. He does it consistently. He goes lap after lap after lap. Pete's challenge is he's got to come out of the corners faster to beat the consistency. Now, I just watched Ray Oliver. Ray Oliver's come out of the last turn again, and he's lit the rear tyres up again and given Brad Wall a go. We've got 1 minute to go.
Yeah,
which means we've got at least another lap. Now, the thing for Ray is he's got to come out of that last turn really well to be able to even have a sniff at Brad. Otherwise, Brad's got him covered.
I think Brad's got him, mate. Ray Oliver seems to be getting a lot of wiggle off the corner, especially those slow corners. Up here he's good, but the slow corners, the car just doesn't seem to respond in getting the exit off the corner that he's looking for.
Either that or he's just on the throttle just a little bit too early, which is an eager mistake in the supercar. And as soon as you do that, you light up the rear wheels. So, and that to me, I think he's like, I got him. Oh, hang on, no, I've just lost a little bit of time. So, yes, he's got to settle in. He's got to settle in out of this corner.
Tim Nicol is got the white flag, so there is 1 lap to go, ladies and gentlemen. The battle is not over here. There it is there. The white flag now.
And we've got a lap car, Rob Visser, in the way of Brad Wall. Okay, now is Rob going to impact this race? Rob, get out of the way. Rob, get out of the way. How can I say that to him? Oh, no. Oh, that's let us slow Brad down. Oh, he's done the right thing. He's certainly done the right thing by Ray Oliver there. Ray has got a massive gap. If he comes off turn 4, Ray is going to have a chance at him if he gets a draft up here.
Yeah, 100%. Pete, and look, that lap car really made this a problem.
That's hurt Brad. But Brad's got his super defence on. Ray's equal on the outside. There's a little bit of side-by-side contact, and Brad's lost a little bit of control through there and a little bit of time. And Ray Oliver's got the position. So
he's gone.
Yeah, they had side-by-side contact, and Brad had a little bit of a slip.
Brad's gone.
Just getting going again.
There.
He's lost a couple of positions from that. That's championship changing, mate.
And that all comes back to that slower car, mate. That's that lap car just not aware, I think, of the race ahead. So Tim Nicol, our winner of the race, but
sometimes it's hard to be a blue flag car, isn't it? But you do as a blue flag car, you've got to keep your eye on the race and try not to impact it. But
I mean, you've got. Let's be pretty clear though, for the viewers at home, we do have a relative that we do see the cars on track around us. So there really isn't an excuse, if you know they're within that second window, why you would put there, why you'd be in that position in the first place. So I think there could be a little bit to answer on that one, because I think Visser really did sort of get in the way. I think he could have definitely bailed out of that and just pulled up on the side of the circuit. I don't think he had any need to be in that position and fighting in the way he did. So, yeah, I mean, definitely I think Brad Wall got robbed there, but we'll have a look at what happened there. We'll have a look there.
Yeah, I think Ray got dealt a good hand to be able to get there, and then this is just close racing. I think a little bit of side-by-side contact, and unfortunately, Brad's just lost the control of the car there in that position, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, they're having such a good race, and for it to finish like that is a little bit unfortunate. But you know, let's not take away. Tim Nicol had an awesome race, mate. You know, almost. You know, good. You know, start to check it. Brock P2, Ray has come up from a really poor shootout. Pete Pavlich ended up in P4 and Brett Taylor in P5, so they've benefited from Brad's disappointing last lap. Brad Wall P6, Cal Hodgson P7, Andy Cowie finished up in P8, Rob Visser P9, the big sinker P10, and Dan Schultz coming in the last car on track P11.
Yeah, we'll bring that results up on screen for the viewers at home. Absolutely, Dikey, agree with you, mate. Shame for Brad. Ray did nothing. Well, I mean, you know, there was a bit of both ways there. There was nothing that either of them could do, but I just don't think that slower car really made that position any easier. So
yeah, I wouldn't put it too much on the slower car. And you know, it's probably a lesson learned there, but
that's right.
I think it's I think Brad might feel hard done by, but that is racing, right? So. Yeah,
100%.
Anyway, yeah, we got
nice little smoke show going on here.
Yeah, doing their smoke show, doing burnouts. The burnout competition might have trained them all to do a bit of burnout, right?
Oh, Brock slams the wall. Well, we may not let that get away in the combox during the interviews, let me tell you. We might have to bring that up and see what happens there. But yeah, look, mate, that was a cracking race. Hour around Sandown. With these amateur guys, really good racing, really close, really tight. And in the end, you know, it's only it's just racing, man. I mean, that's what happens. It's just racing happens and cars collide and there's nothing you can do about it, really.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And that battle, I mean, Ray and Brad had a ding-dong battle for the last lap. That was an awesome ding-dong battle. To get P3, but let's get Ray in as soon as we can, because I tell you what, mate, he's in a crack race from his start.
They're not in the green room yet. The boys are hiding.
Are they? They're still doing burnouts or something.
There's Ray there now, so we'll get Ray in. Let's have a chat with Mr. Ray Oliver. Ray, P3, mate, take us through that last lap, because there was a bit going on there.
I sort of realised through having to come back from the back that tyre life was an issue for everybody once they get through to about 15 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes. So I was just like, sit with it. And Kyle jumped in as spotter and, he helped me out with that one. I was just having big throttle issues, which I was still trying to get my head around. But, it was just push it through. And then I got the overlaps into there, and I knew if I sat on the outside and he tried to stick it in, he was either going to take us both off or he was going to have to back out of it. So I tried to give him enough room, and hopefully that's what I did.
Yeah, look, I mean, that last overtake was side by side, and Brad just lost. I think unfortunate that the sort of we think a lap car cost Brad time in that thing, but in the laps leading up, in those last 10 laps, you seem to have the pace on him, but you didn't necessarily have the grip coming out of the tight corners, like turn 14 and the last turn. Do you think your rear suspension was a bit stiff? Was that a setup thing or was it a driver thing?
It's definitely a setup thing, but it's also a driver thing. I do make time differently around here. So with certain cars that Kyle and I have been doing practice with, we'll have totally different setups. So I'm better through the switchbacks and the fast stuff across the back, but coming off the corners is where I struggle. But then I try and change the setups to go to my advantage. And again, that's what was happening tonight. But the problem was is if I got the run through, because of the way he was getting off the corner, I had to wait and then go again. So that's where it was. So it was just try and set it right, and I must admit I did think that the lapped car was going to get in the way. I thought I was going to get snookered.
You know, we did call that on the broadcast there. We did see Rob Weiser just kind of staying in a position where he probably didn't really need to be, but you know, that's racing and that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's what racing is, unfortunately. You have the good days and you have your bad days, and I mean, he tried to do everything he possibly could to get out of the way respectfully without slowing right down and being probably unpredictable. I mean, he was predictable, which was good. So, I mean, we've seen so many times where somebody comes out of the first turn and then just gets off the gas at the apex and you go up their backside. At least that didn't happen. I mean, that's what happened to me on Friday night. But it's just one of those things that's what happens, and he stayed out there, and thankfully he didn't cut back in when I came through. So kudos to him for doing what he did.
Yeah, let's not be too hard on Rob there. I think, you know, Ray, you had a massive race. You fought back from what was essentially a difficult shootout for you. You know, it wasn't the best result, and you weren't in a position where you thought you might start the race. But, you know, you fought your way back into it. You gave yourself a chance, and a little bit of lady luck at the end of the day got you up into a position to fight for P3, and you made the most of it. So congratulations tonight, mate. You got any shout-outs before we let you go?
First, before I thank the team, I just want to thank Kyle for something, because Kyle got the last official outright Jetta iRacing official win this morning. So 10 out of 10 for that.
Oh, very good.
Awesome. Well done.
Very
well
good.
done, Kyle.
And he was against one of the guys that's multiple world lap record holder. So he's
Awesome.
He's definitely picked up the pace on that little bugger.
Well done, Kyle. Straight to the Pro Series for you. I don't want to see you in any Am Series, all right?
So like usual, I'd just like to thank Juice Energy, All Ports Gaming, Toyo Sim, the Pet Dog Company, FH Creative, and just all the boys in the team. I mean, we're a close knit unit now, and it's paying dividends because we're all helping each other. And and cheers for Cowie to try and return the favour and pin the tail on me today.
I think we'll leave that between you guys. No, we'll just leave that between the drivers, Rob, for Alton Park. We did call it a goat track. Maybe we'll call it a donkey trail. You know?
I just want to ask Ray. We do go to Alton Park next week. What's your like of that circuit?
I love it. I think I was second fastest in one of the Jettas around there for all time. But it's one of those things that some of the people are definitely going to enter the scenery quicker than you can say tomorrow. So I think Tyson's probably going to do some more laps than a few people next week.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there we go. Tyson McAvoy in the safety car for higher than P12 next week at Alton Park. So there's the prediction.
We might have to put him into the shootout.
Yeah, we may as well. Hey, Ray, congratulations, mate. P3 tonight. Well done. And we'll see you next week for the penultimate round.
Cheers, boys.
Good on you, Ray. Congratulations, mate.
Oh, all right.
Oh, that's a bit of
moving
fun.
on. Get in. Mr. Brock Mottershead. Mate, P2, how was it out there?
Very slippery.
Looked pretty lonely from where we were sitting, mate. You look like you had it all just out to yourself and no real challenge around you.
Yeah, it was, Tim just had it over me that whole race. I tried to give it him a bit after the safety car there, but yeah, he just had that little bit more than me, and I couldn't give it to him. So towards the end there, I kind of just drove it home safely just to kind of secure the position.
Oh, I've got to tell you, Brock, you've really just upset me because you just told me you were thinking about the championship, not being a race driver. So, and we're talking the whole race, that race drivers don't do that. But look, really good position. Tim seemed to have a little bit of speed on you. Did you have Brad Wall in your mind through the race? Because he was there in P3 for a lot of the race. and Ray Oliver was sort of your other, the other competition in the championship, and he was fighting from a lower position. Were you watching their positions through the race, or were you focusing on Tim and whether you could get him?
Yeah, no, I knew I didn't have Tim. I was hoping Brad was going to hold Ray off because that would have been better for me in the title-wise. So, unlucky. I watched the replay there. He spun out there at the end, but, it was a good race from them two anyway, and well done to Ray for catching all the way back up.
Absolutely. Now, Brock, you took an early pit stop. Was that a strategy call, or did you, short fuel?
Yeah, no, that was just to try and get a bit of grip back on the car. I just wanted to do whatever I could to try and, have a race with Tim, but yeah, it still didn't pay off. He just had too much pace for me.
All right, man. Well, PT tonight, probably as good as you can get tonight because of Tim's pace. Congratulations. Well done. And feel free to have your shout-outs, mate.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, just Right Sim Racing, Mark Hughes Foundation, Bliss Homes, and Gamer Gear Direct. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Good on you, Brock, mate.
Brock.
And see you next week.
See ya.
All right, mate. Well, this is probably the moment you've been waiting for, Pete. Let's get Tim in. Tim, congratulations, mate. P1 tonight. What a show out there. You had it all to yourself, so no real challenge.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was, I think I was fortunate. I had a race on Sunday, which sort of got me into a little bit of race shape for this one. But Brock did push me pretty hard at the start of that race. I had too much front bias and locked it up, and thought, if I don't fix this up, he will definitely take advantage of it. He's not slow around this track, but I just got into a groove and just kept driving away. I just kept looking at my laps, trying to improve every lap, and the tyres stuck in there, which is unusual for this track. So,
So, Tim, you were cruising the whole race. What was your reaction when the safety car got called?
Well, it's funny. Before the safety car, so we already had one pit stop, and I seen Brock sort of drift away in the distance, and I was like, I think this cheeky dog, he's bloody fuel saving. So I had to make the decision either keep going hard and try and gap him more, or do I start backing off? So I actually started backing off before the safety car and just shifting before the rev limiter hit. And then when the safety car hit, I was like, I just don't stuff it up in the pits. Just go in, do your routine. And I came out still in front, but there's nothing worse than having such a clear margin going into a safety car and then knowing that the whole field's backed up again, that people are going to make the most of it and try and have a go. Brock did, but I just stuck the boot into it, kept her going, and then just kept doing what I was doing prior to the safety car.
Yeah, no, good on you, man. You seem to have that car on rails tonight. So, really good times, nice consistent times. 7.196 is your fastest. So that was faster than your qualifying time as a race time. So that's a cracking lap, mate. You drove well tonight. Congratulations. Well done. That's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. I must say a little bit of a shout out to the old Jamie McKnight. It's one of his setups from the V8 Vets league that we run in. It's dialed up. It works hot, cold. So that's it works when you've got a setup that just suits you. That's for sure.
Nothing little about shout outs, mate. Take them away, shout them out, push them out, mate.
Okay,
all your sponsors give everything.
Big shout out to obviously Podium. Well done, Brock and Ray. My teammates who practice with me every week, those boys are amazing. My team members at Pecky's Performance, or Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing. So thank you. And obviously the wife who lets me get on here more hours than I should be, but she's a good girl. So yeah.
No, that's fantastic.
No worries.
See, I'm going to call Tim out. He's in split one of that other series I talk about. Rob, so
oh right,
we're going to have to test him with the handicapper, I think. So
Well,
we might send a starter over next week.
I've been waiting for my ticket out. Dylan got booted pretty quick, so I'm like, hopefully they keep me into the end of the season and reconsider. But I'd be happy to run the Sunday night with the pro boys. It's always good running with the faster guys. It definitely makes you a better driver in the long run. So, but these guys are good. Brock's good, right? You know, some of these guys are in the V8 vets as well, so it's nice to actually have a run with them instead of being in separate splits.
Yeah, right.
No, I think you're pretty safe here for now, given that you're having good close races with Brock. So, yeah, well done tonight, and yeah, piss off your split one driver.
Dang.
Come out.
We'll have to edit the video now.
You know, I'm coming like 40th in that split one.
That's all right.
Pete's threatening to come and take your title from this league, mate. So you might want to just tune up a little bit next week.
Not a chance, mate. I'm fighting off split 3. I'm fighting off split 3 qualification, mate.
Yeah, that season 15 prequel is about to kick in for vets, so that's going to be a challenge. So.
That's right. Yeah. No, good on you, Tim. Great race tonight. Yeah, good, solid racing, and it was good to see with some pressure you held out there. So enjoy the win, and would you like to do a few shout-outs?
Yeah, no, I've done my shout-outs, but I just want to say, Brock, I got that one back from Oran Park, mate. You weren't. I was going to let you have another one, so no. But thanks to you guys. Thanks to Race Control, much appreciated, and I'm sure Brock will bring it next week.
Yeah, well, off to Alton Park, mate. Off to Alton Park. You excited for that one? You like the track, or? And by that groan, I don't think that was an excited. Yes, I can't wait.
I think I've raced it. I can't even picture the track, to be honest, so I'm a little bit concerned. But
no.
Yeah, we got Vets is Silverstone on Thursday night, so I better go and get some practice at Oldham Park. So yes, but we've got a few other boys. I've got them to register to come and run in the Tuesday night. So trying to bump the numbers up, which will be good in some of the split 2 drivers from the Vets. So hopefully we can bring a few over. They're reasonably fast and like a good battle. So.
I was telling Rob I've been watching the nominees for the Am Series, and I noticed the names that have popped up, and because I'm racing with them on Thursday nights in the Vets, the Old Parts League, and it's good. It's going to be good to see them on a Tuesday night as well. So good on you for bringing the love to SRW. It's a good series for those of us that aren't aliens to really get in and have people to race with it, and it's not necessarily congested. So. Good on you, mate, and thank you for that. So,
good stuff, guys. Thank you.
Well done, Tim. Good on, man. Well, Pete, time for you to step into the ring, mate, with these boys. I don't think there's a question about it. I think next season we got to see Mr. Pete Baxter in this series.
Not a chance. I've got 2 rounds to talk myself out of it now. So, Alton Park and Bathurst left to go. But
guys in YouTube, come on. Guys in YouTube, back me up. We need to see a Pete Baxter in this league, don't we not? Got to back me up. He wanted to throw it. Hey, you wanted to throw it to YouTube, so I'm throwing it to YouTube. You're gonna regret saying that to me, because this is gonna happen. We need a Pete Baxter in it, and Greggy League's already said if you do it, he'll do it. So we got that on tape now. So.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. This Am Series is something else. This is it's been some great racing so far this year. It's not over. We've got 2 rounds to go, and this is anyone's game right now. So Brock Monteshead still leading the championship. Brad Wall finishing back there in P6. Ray Oliver jumped up a couple of spots, so that's going to throw the little gap there to 2 and 3 a little bit wider. And right on cue. Greggy Leak says sign up, Pete. So come on. Let's get it signed up, boys.
But these guys have got some practice for Alton Park. If you live anywhere near, Threadbow or Mount Kosciuszko, just go for a walk up the trail, and that's a good practice. That's as tight as Alton Park is.
That's right.
And then it's the good old classic Bathurst supercar race right to finish off the season. So a couple of good rounds to go. I'm really looking forward to seeing the battle between Tim and Brock, not so much at Alton Park, but at Bathurst. I think that'll be exciting. Yep. And we're going to see how it plays out between Brad Wall and Ray Oliver, particularly after tonight's finish. So, good sporting racing, because, look, all's fair in love and war. good sporting racing, but I want to see how these guys come together on the track again, more so for those two at Alton Park, because it is a bit of a tight goat track. And then, take that battle into Mount Panorama. So, for those of you who are watching SRW TV, tune in next Tuesday night. We got the penultimate round of the Am Series for supercars, and it's going to be at good old Alton Park. It'll be a cracker of a race, Rob.
Well, it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait, Pete. But sadly, that's going to bring us to an end tonight here with SRW TV for our SimRigs V8 Am Series. But that's not all the action for this week. Tomorrow night, we got the Wednesday doubleheader. TCR's up first, and then off to our F3 series, which has been absolutely stellar. So tune in tomorrow night, guys, as we take you through that journey on Wednesday. And, we can't do this without our sponsors, our awesome, amazing people in the back scenes. Warren & Brown Tools for bringing us our round tonight. Also, Racecraft Simulations, Grim Industries, Toyo Sim, Melville Equipment, Dragon RC, and our newest one on board for our Thursday night fun showcase is Tempting Sweets. So without them, we can't do it, and we appreciate all the work they give and put into the back scenes as well. But that is going to wrap us up here tonight. Pete, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to next week. And it's good night from everyone here at SRW TV.
Bit of pleasure. Thanks, Rob. Cheers.
It's a total one. This is amazing. Up and clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff from Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble model right now because take one Priest Tanner